that's interesting.
He said that about your restaurant?
Yeah.
What the hell?
What was that, buddy? Somebody talking shit?
You just made a TikTok talking shit about Noodles and Company?
Damn.
The one I work at too. No, it was one of the guys I work with. The 3 people that were supposed to open there today, they all just walked out and quit.
Oh, man.
They all just walked out and quit. Well, that's kind of crazy, brother.
What do you think about that? Do you understand or do you disagree with them?
I mean,
It is what it is, I guess.
The job's annoying sometimes. I didn't really think it was that bad.
Yeah. You work a lot of mornings?
Me? Yeah.
Well, when somebody does that, there's more to the story behind it.
Yeah. There's something there.
That's what you have to understand, Hell, just like Tyree Hill, there's a reason why you got put to the ground. You match energy with energy.
Fucking. Oh, this is
well. That's not really how being a cop works, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, that cop is a dumbass. I heard he's being sued.
Well, he tried to apologize and he got
they
rejected it. He was like, "Yeah, no,
oh, do I have any cash?
I still want you fired."
Soda.
Huh?
Damn.
Soda. Mountain Dew next time, Joel. If you could.
Okay.
Like regular old, like a sixer.
Any like tips or whatever, just put it on.
I thought I had cash.
box.
I'm gonna put a $5 in that box.
Oh yeah. Do we still need to put $5 in there to replenish what the tip?
Before the next like remote, yeah, so my wife stays off my fucking back.
Before the
You know, it would not have been an issue if we hadn't hired a bookkeeper. We hired a bookkeeper,
Oh, okay.
and that's. Yeah. I got yelled at about that.
Dude, Brian Thomas Jr. Death, taxes, Brian Thomas Jr. scoring a touchdown. And did everybody probably assumed Saquon Barkley was going to score a touchdown, right?
Yeah.
That was just free money. Free money. We were on a roll this weekend betting, boys. We were on a roll. College football was awesome.
Yeah, one fantasy league, man. I don't know how many receivers I'm going to start. Bro, I got Brian Thomas Jr., Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Romeo Dobbs,
Ooh, I don't
Trey
know how I would
McBride.
start him. I would definitely start Trey McBride somewhere. You know. Who's your other tight end?
This is all on one team. He's the only tight end I have.
So you're
But it's like
end.
one of those leagues where like the tight end wide receiver position, like you can play either or. You don't need to have someone that's just the tight end.
And you got a flex, so you can probably
Well,
play 3
it's
wide receivers.
so this one's the lineup's a little weird. So you start a quarterback, 2 running backs, and then it's 3 wide receivers or tight ends, and then kicker defense.
Oh, so you don't actually need any tight
Yeah.
ends.
Yeah, now you know.
Interesting.
But you can only ever start 2 running backs, which is kind of annoying. But this year, that's not really an issue. I just need But yeah, like, I mean, who do you? Oh, and I have Chris Godwin too. Like, who are you supposed to start out of all of these guys? Like Godwin, Dobbs, McBride.
Pittsburgh beat. I turned it off. It was like 28 to something. They scored another touchdown.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was 30 to 15 when I turned it off.
Devontae Adams lost to the same team twice in one season.
I
He
mean,
goes from 1-2-5
Hey.
team to another.
Hey,
That's
Hey.
crazy.
hey, I'm just saying. A lot of these ex-Green Bay Packer players looking pretty fucking mid outside of fucking Green Bay. And it's been a trend for a while now. Jordy Nelson, James Jones, they're all high and mighty. Leaving Green Bay, let's go over to Oakland, team up. We got a quarterback. Nothing. You know, what's Aaron Jones done for Minnesota?
get hurt.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he just scored his first touchdown of the year last week, or
Yeah,
against
yeah.
the Lions. Yeah.
Fun fact for today. Did you know that it was illegal for boxing until 1869?
Boxing was illegal.
Remember that look?
It's illegal to be a boxer, or boxing was illegal?
Boxing was illegal until 1869.
Until 1869.
Let's see here.
It's kind of crazy.
What? Yeah. It was illegal to be a boxer in the USA before 1896.
1896.
1896, and some people were asking me about it today, and I looked it up. But
Oh yeah, we are.
somebody was asking, why is it that Purdue football players don't have their names on the back of their jerseys? And I told them, I'm like, Notre Dame, Penn State, Purdue, Indiana. Most teams in Indiana
Navy.
don't have their names on the back of their jersey.
Navy doesn't. None of the
Right.
service academies do.
Right, because they're
There's a lot of colleges.
they're trying to.
The name on the front is more important than the name on the back.
Yeah, exactly. Team unity.
Gosh, guys, don't
A
you
lot of
understand
people don't know that
sportsmanship?
though. A lot of people didn't know that.
Because most people.
I was a big supporter of Notre Dame. I was gonna go to school for Notre Dame, and then they deflated my tires, and they're like, "Oh, you want to come to Notre Dame? Oh, well, your GPA is over 35, so there's no way you're gonna make it." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm a good kicker." They're like, "We don't give a fuck."
Joel, when I was in high school, I did it when my grandma went to Notre Dame. She was one of the first. She got her undergrad from Holy Cross.
Yeah.
She got her master's from Notre Dame. When Notre Dame's master's program, like way back in the 60s, went co-ed, she was like one of the first. I don't know, but not the first, but one of the first master's programs.
Right.
So because my grandma went there, we got to go to Notre Dame football games. I got to meet some of the people in the ticket booth and stuff like that. So when I was in high school, while my grandma went to Notre Dame, if I just apply, maybe they'll let me in too.
Right.
I sent my little $30 application thing in with my stuff and all that.
They
They-
make you pay to apply.
Yeah,
That's wild.
yeah. And it's a donation.
Gotta milk out every
It's a
possible
no,
cent.
it's a donation to the Catholic Church. They give you that money back on your tuition, which is why it's only $30. And UCLA is like $10,000 just to apply. So I applied, brother. They sent I applied just because even if I get rejected, I just want my name on the letterhead. That was my goal.
Yeah.
I just wanted the letterhead with like the Notre Dame thing, how it's all like matted and it's like
Right.
sweet looking, you know. And yeah, they didn't send me shit. They just mailed me back my fucking, and they gave me back the $30. They didn't even cash my $30
Wow.
application fee.
Wow, that's nuts.
And my letter that I typed up, I was like, hey, my grandmother went there, alumnus, this, that, or whatever. They didn't send me shit. They just sent me. They just basically like returned to sender.
Notre
Like,
Dame
there's
used
no
to
way
be
you
the
can fucking
fucking
get in
school
here,
to
dude.
beat.
Dude, it's the hardest school to get into.
Yeah.
The attrition rate is 10 times higher than the Navy SEAL training program. They let in 9,000 kids every 4
Dude,
years.
my high school has a sign, and it's still there. And it is. My high school is a prep school.
Mm.
It had a sign that said
Oh, we have
that
4 minutes.
15
We should do a radio check.
yes,
Yeah, we're good.
it said 15%
I
of
can't
the
hear
students
these
here.
things.
15% of the students here go to Notre Dame.
There was a freaking.
Check.
Are these plugged in? Oh, wait, there we go. Okay.
They were turned down. The podcast I was playing when I got here was very distracting. I had to turn the headphones down.
Oh,
All right.
can you
Yeah,
hear me?
You sound good. Yeah, you sound good.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
I
gonna go
actually
left.
don't know if.
We're going
Don't
live.
know.
Fuck it. We're doing live. We're going live.
What's up?
Okay, no, we're good.
Sabrina's still coming to dye my hair.
We're going
I was gonna say
live.
I can go meet Sabrina at the door, but she's been here before, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's
I was
coming.
gonna say, H-Train, you ready to dye my fucking hair?
No what?
We almost didn't have anyone to come in.
You know,
Ask you.
that's the wrong thing. Asking a guy bald to do anything with hair.
I'll take that advice.
Do we need to go live on TikTok?
Well. Yes. Yeah, and if you have the time ready, if you want to do. Oh. Thank you. I was about to do that. Hey. Uh. You know how old this song is? I didn't know this until yesterday.
What?
This
Yeah.
the Servant song. Do you know how old it is?
Yeah.
It's 9 years old.
Oh,
We're just now hearing about it.
I do this song. It's a banger.
he's not for the culture like that.
Yeah.
What?
After you after Jimmy does the thing, let me talk for a second. Saw a bunch of college recruiters at this tournament. Basketball season starting up for college. Looks like a JUCO tournament. Got my trash bag. We're ready to go.
So we got. Are you going to be able to work with us? Okay.
You just get set up. It'll be funny to open up the show with the random trash in there.
I mean, that's just karma.
Right. I just figured I'd let you know since Adam Scheffner was reporting it.
Torn Achilles.
Ruptured Achilles.
Saw it coming.
You are looking live at a special Monday night football frenzy, military broadcast radio,
Trash bagged up.
till the final whistle. Caveman,
Ready to go.
what are we doing, brother? Tell the
Dyeing-
people
dyeing
what is
the
happening
hair.
today.
We're dyeing the hair, everybody.
We are
Coming
dyeing
down
the
my
hair
way.
live, people.
The Saints lost.
Saints lost.
He's dyeing the
We-
hair because the Broncos won. Woo!
You guys beat
Let's
our,
go, Bo Nix.
Broncos.
beat our practice squad. Good job. I mean,
Yeah, they kind of did.
Did you guys see our zone defense?
It was
just
awful.
running levels concepts.
What
I
defense?
don't care if you think Bo Nix
Yeah, what
sucks.
defense?
I don't care
Yeah.
if you think Bo Nix sucks. You give anyone an easy ass high low read, they're gonna be able to make a throw.
It was pretty bad.
Guys were so open that he would miss a throw
Yeah.
because they were just so open.
Yeah.
He didn't know who to throw it to.
Their
Yeah.
gap
Gosh, Dave,
integrity-
man, you're starting to sound like a scorned woman. You're.
Yeah.
Bro,
No,
It's
that's
bad.
just a fact.
the Saints' gap integrity on every run play was just
bad.
god awful.
Yeah.
I mean,
Chase
you
Young
would
for
have
you,
guys
man.
like they would have it stacked up to where like they'd have like 7, 8 guys in the box. You have a man for each gap, and then they're just guys.
Still,
They just decide to go like run and leave their assigned gap and just try to go do something
That's
else.
still-
What are we doing? Like,
So special in guest studio. We have
yeah, come around here.
Mercury's girlfriend. She's gonna be
Our number one fan.
doing the honors. Number one fan here at
You know,
Telephone
give
House.
everybody a wave.
Give everybody a wave. You're live. You're live right now, Sabrina.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
this
we'll
is
get you-
awesome.
We'll get you a headset.
A
too.
special, yeah, Joel.
You're live in front of millions of people.
Yeah, we got about 100.
They just haven't logged in to watch it yet.
So
They're
we
coming.
got some easy removable spray paint hair dye here for Caveman, and we're gonna give this thing a good once over and make this thing Bronco Orange, baby. So Sabrina, let's grab a can, let's shake it up, let's give
Yeah, it
them.
said shake well.
Yeah, shake well. We want to, because Caveman does have some pretty long hair and some good dreadlocks. We don't want to ruin it.
You might want to like put the mic over to the left or over to the right so the
Yeah,
spray
it doesn't
doesn't get
spray
on the mic.
anything. So we're gonna take Caveman off the camera, maybe
What was
scoop
that?
back a little bit, Caveman, so it doesn't get on your computer.
Well, while she's doing this, Jimmy.
Yeah, buddy.
you know, what else we had? Sunday
So-
Night Football, an absolute disaster again for the Jets on national
I didn't even
television.
watch that game.
Who is Aaron Rodgers going to fire this week?
Nathaniel Hackett, fire him, please.
He's already been demoted. I mean, I don't know.
Got
What-
demoted.
I'm not on
Yeah.
camera for that reason. Mercury just cracked me up. So first of all, first things first, boys. Before I go in on Aaron Rodgers, Mike Tomlin, the absolute. I'm gonna turn your thing off.
Go ahead and
What-
read this one.
Are you ready? Yeah, you're ready. Okay, you should be good.
All right.
So first things first. Anybody that's disrespecting Mike Tomlin's coaching ability, Caveman is just
I'm judging my breath.
absolutely.
This stuff is toxic over here.
Yeah, dude. Is it going, Sabrina?
Yeah, the first one was faulty, did not have top.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Good thing I got
no, what
3
are we doing?
bottles. Good thing I
Anybody
got
that's
3.
disrespecting Mike Tomlin's coaching ability, though, Mercury, that ends today. The coaching job how he got his team prepared in just a week's time for playing the New York Jets with the coaching of it, the quarterback disarray. They didn't want to get rid of Justin Fields. Do they want to get rid of Justin Fields? Who's starting? Who's sitting? He's being forced to answer questions. He's had banged up guys, battling injuries over there. I don't know. We're going to need a lot of spray paint for
I know, I
Mercury.
got a lot of stuff.
I'm going to open up the door.
Yeah, we have a ventilator. Yeah, just
Well, at least it smells pretty good. It doesn't smell like foot and ass like it does in here all the
It
time.
just smells like some aerosol spray. It's not.
Yeah.
It could be
All right.
worse.
But to get back to Mike Tomlin,
Yeah,
top marks, top 5 coach in
Such
the
a great
NFL.
coach.
Such a great coach. And then, to get him ready and make, Russell Wilson look actually pretty prepared and pretty ready for a
He didn't
decent
look bad.
Jets defense
I'm gonna be honest. That was the best the Steelers have looked like throwing the ball
all year. 100%, brother.
Definitely.
George Pickens is an actual threat now on the outside.
for real.
For real.
Like,
Their running game, their two-headed monster with Warren and Najee Harris
I was
there.
feeling- that
Pretty
was
good.
great. They just were gashing the Jets. We expected that. The Jets
I
are
think
pretty
so.
bad against the run. But I mean, this was the most complete Pittsburgh Steelers win we've seen all season. I mean, they got down. They were down like 11 early, or they were down 9 early. Then a big defensive play, and that completely flipped the momentum of the game, and they were in total control the whole rest of that game.
And then that's going to bring us to Aaron freaking Rodgers. Buddy, you have your boy Devontae Adams. You have a top wide receiver in Garrett Wilson. You got Brees Hall, elite running back by all accounts. Of course, he scores a touchdown. He looks like an absolute weapon. and the New York Jets and the New York A-Rods
Lose by 22.
just don't even show up in the second half. Aaron Rodgers throwing interceptions that I've never seen him throw.
I mean, are you talking about the two to Beanie Bishop? Because in his defense, I don't really think either of those were his fault. I mean, Bishop, the first one, he made a great play because if you watch that play back, Bishop, he's got his hips to the outside, right?
Yeah.
The run in
He
Tampa
cut it
2.
off.
The run in Tampa
Run
2,
Tampa
you
2.
got Garrett Wilson running the skinny post. That's a great route to beat that coverage. And right, the middle defender, his hips are flipped the wrong way, so you're like, oh, all right. I mean, he doesn't have the positioning. I can fire this in real quick, right behind him. And then on the dime, the way he's able to flip his hips and get his hand out there to snag that.
Shout out Sabrina. She's a great hair tech over here right now.
Yeah, it really is.
Till the final whistle, hair tech Sabrina. #1 fan Sabrina. Yeah, great point, Mercury. No, you're not wrong on that. That was you. I love how you broke it down with the Tampa 2 and the skinny post. I saw the same thing, dude. But still, Aaron Rodgers. My thing is, dude, I've watched him for so long with my team, dude, that like the offense just isn't as seamless as I thought it would be in New York by this time, how long he's been there.
Yeah,
Where these interceptions, maybe last year this happens or something, but like by week 8, you score 15 points. I don't know, man. Like, I just never seen him play like a slow. His feet just stop moving. Once his feet plant, he's immobile. His arm strength just isn't there. That's a pick because of the lack of arm strength.
Yeah, prime Aaron Rodgers probably.
That's a
gets that
dime
ball
over the
before,
top,
yeah.
and he just walks in for a touchdown.
Easy.
You know what I mean? Now it's an intercept. So when I say like, I'm not saying it's like not a good play by the defender. It's just the ball placement and how Aaron Rodgers used to play quarterback.
He doesn't know his limits.
I've never seen him play like this before, buddy. Like, I really never have. And so, like, when I see, like, a simple 5-yard, he's missing 5-yard easy, turn around and catch it. Garrett Wilson, 5-yard, first down, 3rd and 5, and he's throwing the ball out of bounds, and he's looking like Daniel Jones. I'm like, man, there's just not that it factor there with the guy anymore. And, that just sort of leads me to believe that the grass ain't greener outside of Green Bay, baby. It's just not. Sunday Night Football, a joke. Mike Tomlin, awesome. Steelers win, going away, 37-15.
I'm really surprised that he outcoached an interim head coach.
Right. You watch those two teams, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, who looked better? Just take away Aaron Rodgers' accolades, take away Russell Wilson in Seattle. Who looked better single-handedly?
Wilson, easily.
Not even close.
Easily.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. Like, football's wild. Who knows what's going to happen from week to week?
The Jets almost lost a touchdown, too. If their coach didn't drop the challenge flag.
Yeah, they almost lost.
And then Aaron Rodgers had to, like, the best throw of the night from Aaron Rodgers, really, was the throw from, to get the flag off the fucking field. Sorry, oops, my bad. Beep. Yeah.
We're working on it.
Yeah, Stokely's going to sue us over here until the final whistle if I drop another F-bomb.
We're sorry, Stokely.
Sorry,
We're just
Stokely,
sorry
dude.
about
Like,
that.
Aaron Rodgers does it to me. It's only Aaron Rodgers and the Bears while you're here, Jimmy Covers dropping F-bomb.
I cussed before you about the Saints.
Sorry, brother. Go for
I
it.
already cussed before you about the Saints.
Yeah.
And I'll wait till I get my hair dyed.
Yeah. Once Caveman's hair is being done, we're going to get him back on the 1s and 2s, but we're just going to keep talking.
Are you even going to be able to see the orange? I mean, your hair's kind of black. Just saying.
I can see the orange. It looks pretty good.
We might just have to go out and get some more,
I'm telling you, it would have been cheaper just to go over to
Is that
Brita
it,
and
Sabrina?
ask her for
Are we out, basically?
Yeah, we're pretty much out.
Yeah.
So
Hey.
that's how we got it.
Well, let me get close up. It looks
pretty orange in person. Maybe over the camera it's going to take
Yeah,
a little
you're
bit.
only dripping.
But shout out Caveman for living up to the bet. You see these
Yeah,
You see these idiots
man
on.
of my word.
He's a man of his word, dude. I'm gonna give you a round. You get the free shout out this segment. You get the free shout out.
Let's go. Shout out Caveman. Death, taxes, Saints lose in Saints fashion.
Did you guys bring a hair dryer?
Freaking practice squad out there. No.
No?
I'll just
Well,
gonna
you-
sit. I'm
you
not gonna
prepared
put the
well.
headphones back on. I'm just gonna sit in my trash bag for a little bit.
He's gonna
I'll
sit
keep
in
patting
his
on it.
trash bag.
Once it
for me.
dries, I'll put these back on. I'm not gonna dirty these up.
It
We've got
does.
the nice covers on there.
Yeah.
They're brand new.
Well, all right, perfect.
Yeah.
There we go.
So,
Caveman living
thank
up to
you,
the
Sabrina.
tag.
as well
Caveman,
for
thank you,
coming.
Sabrina, for
Appreciate
doing
it.
that. That was awesome. Just to quickly recap and bring us up to date. In London, Jacksonville kicked the crap out of the lifeless New England Patriots,
I thought the
32-16.
Win, man.
Thursday night, Denver obviously beat the New Orleans Saints, which brings us
Lifeless
to
New
current.
Orleans Saints.
The lifeless New
Hey,
Orleans Saints.
I'm gonna
bro.
stand on it. I will die on my soapbox
I like
defending Spencer Rattler.
Hey,
Hey
it's
guys,
okay.
who has
Man.
the bathroom key?
I do not have it. I'm sorry.
I actually might.
Cincinnati, Cleveland. Cleveland lost the game and lost Deshaun Watson, their battle quarterback, 21-14.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson confirmed, done for the season.
Done for
He
the
ruptured
season.
His Achilles.
Yep, confirmed news over the ones and twos today.
I left it in the back room.
Okay.
Tennessee versus Buffalo. Buffalo 34, Tennessee 10.
Let's go.
Mason Rudolph now the new
The
starting
crazy thing
quarterback.
about that game, Bills started down 10-0.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it just
34 unanswered.
rattled off. Yep.
Amari Cooper, first week touchdown.
He was one of my sits of the week, and it's because you know the guy coming to a new team, you're like, he's not going to know the playbook. He's not going to be as effective because he's just not going to know the routes to run. And he goes out and catches a touchdown. And here's the thing: I wasn't even wrong, Jimmy. All right, he didn't know what route to run when he caught the touchdown. You see Keon Coleman; he's
Yeah.
like drawing it,
Jogging
in
in
the air
the
for him.
dirt. Yeah.
So for like the Titans could see this because Allen's at the line.
Yeah.
Calling out.
And they're like, hey,
Audibles
you
and
run the hook, brother. Run to the Buick, turn 10 yards, and turn around the ball.
So
Be there, you know?
Tennessee, like they literally told you guys
The play.
what route Cooper was running, and he still caught a touchdown.
He still caught it. No, you weren't
What
wrong.
are we doing here?
No, you definitely weren't wrong.
That's the bright spot of the Titans team too, man. The defense. Like you didn't even
Wasn't
really
so
have.
good on Sunday.
They could not get in the end zone after that 10 points. But like other than that, Mason Rudolph really like solid start over Will Levis.
Yeah.
Like got to be guaranteed. for
No,
the rest
it
of
was
the season.
Mason Rudolph started.
Mason
Yes.
Rudolph started.
Mason Rudolph
Okay,
started.
yeah. You
Mason
got
Rudolph
that's
started.
guaranteed. You got to have him over Will Levis for the rest of the year
I think so.
easily.
I think so. He
Yeah,
just
it's
brought
like-
more.
That's also.
They're
what
playing
it
the
is.
Bills. They're probably going to lose, but he just brings more to the quarterback position.
I don't want Levis to be benched though, because he's just getting such.
It was
Great
free money.
run of
Yeah,
photos.
dude.
Great
I mean,
run.
it's elite content. It writes itself, you know.
Yeah.
So move on to other games real quick. Miami versus Indy, 16-10 Indianapolis. That was a dog with fleas
What
game.
a
That was awful.
snooze
Saquon Barkley makes his vaunted return back to MetLife.
Yeah.
He does score a touchdown. He kind of goes off, and the Philadelphia Eagles
187
run
scrimmage yards.
rough shot over the New York Giants. And I think that might be the end of Joe Shane and Brian Daboll in New York. And
Saquon
Eagles win
Daniel
28-3.
Saquon should have had 3 touchdowns for Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
It's just so
Jalen Hurts,
greedy
yeah.
on the 1 yard line.
Well, he's got a stat pad. He has more interceptions than touchdowns. He's
Yeah.
gonna get cut next week.
Yeah.
You know that video of the bulldog that's like on top of the watermelon, or no, it's a pit bull, and like it's got a watermelon and it doesn't want to like give it
You won't
back
give
to
it
its
up
owner.
to
They won't give it up to the
It's like
owner.
growling at them.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh, yeah.
literally Jalen Hurts when Saquon gets him down to the 1 yard. It's like, hey man, let me score this touchdown. And Jalen's like,
Seattle over Atlanta in our pick'em pool. Whoever picked Seattle over Atlanta, good on you. I had
Right here,
Atlanta.
buddy.
Gee, this
Yeah,
guy. You don't want
here.
to pick against him. My hair's orange.
yeah.
Yeah,
Let me tell you.
That's why he's wearing a trash bag right now. If
you
anybody
pick
knows
against me, your hair's gonna change.
that. Oh, we got a
The
couple
only-
comments.
The only team I
Kyle,
could go in with.
smile
Bills.
a little bit, caveman. I like it, dude.
You know, it was
Looking
he had an
pretty
idea.
orange, Sydney. There we go.
Better Rhythm
Yeah,
Podcast saying,
yeah.
"Let's go Dodgers."
They advanced
Dodgers,
last night.
yeah.
They advanced last night. Kyle had an idea. He said to go half orange, half blue. And this was the night of the game. I left him on red because I was watching the game and I was like,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah,
the practice squad. I can't even watch this.
I know it's
I
terrible.
saw we went 3-and-out at the beginning of the second half, and then the first run play the Broncos ran after we punted it, we missed a tackle, and then Williams ran for 11 yards, and I was like, I'm sorry.
Game's over.
I got up out of the living room and I was like, I can't watch this anymore.
Yeah.
And I walked downstairs.
Yeah.
And
It's
then I
bad.
came back upstairs to get a drink because I started playing Xbox. Came back upstairs the second after the strip sack from behind on Rattler that got taken back
back for a
for a
touchdown.
touchdown.
Yeah.
God, dude.
Yeah,
I
it was
think-
bad, dude.
God, man.
I think after the first quarter, I felt pretty confident that I was going to win the match.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
yeah.
stopped. I
Yeah.
stopped sweating it after
Yeah.
the first 20
8 minutes,
I was like,
literally like that. Yeah, like where he's 8 minutes into the first, I said, "Oh, Broncos won." I'm glad I was on the Broncos side.
Yeah.
I bet on the Broncos got a really cheap money line price.
They
So
do.
I got that. I bet that pregame, and I was like, "Oh, minus 110. Okay, I'll take it for probably the better team." Just because I saw Rashid, Shaheed, is that his name?
Yeah,
Raheed Shaheed.
He was out.
Once I saw he was
Olave.
out, I was like, no Olave, no him. Who are they throwing the ball to?
We got
I kind of went with the
Mason
Broncos there.
Tipton, Cedric Wilson, and Bub Means
Oh man,
came in. The rookie.
that's a
the rookie
USFL
Bub.
Pitt
roster right
Panther
there.
above me.
Dude, just go.
The rookie
Shout
Bub.
out Pitt Panthers. Good job, Mercury.
Bub didn't have that bad of a game, honestly. It's
Well,
just
somebody had to catch the freaking ball from Spencer Rattler, dude.
Foster Moreau was the leading receiver, and I think Bub Means actually caught the touchdown pass, or it might have been Cedric Wilson.
I think it was Bub.
But at the same time, it's like
It was
we,
Wilson.
we scored.
Wilson.
We
Garbage
scored in
time
crunch.
touchdown.
Yeah, garbage time.
What
I'm
did
like,
Kyle say?
Love
hey,
it,
man.
Kyle. Love it, Kyle. Shout out Kyle doing pretty
This
good on
is a
picks
Derek
this week,
Carr
too.
jersey. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it
this
is, dude. I
is.
like it, dude.
No one else on the Saints but Derek Carr.
Yeah, buddy.
And Chase Young, dude. I've never seen somebody that cannot get to the quarterback, man.
Yeah. Moving on.
Dude.
Detroit versus Minnesota NFC North Division matchup.
That was
Minnesota
a
had the lead
Incredible
late,
game.
and then
Incredible.
Detroit comes back and wins 31-29. The Fighting Dan Campbell's. Did you guys watch that game?
Oh,
Any
yeah.
notes from that?
Insane.
Any fantasy implications? I know.
Well,
I
if
didn't
you-
bet this game. I almost bet the over, but I didn't touch it.
Yeah, Jameer Gibbs, monster day out of him.
Yeah.
A 40-yard touchdown. Let me pull up his the rest of his statistics here. But yeah, he just carried him on the ground. 15 carries, buck 16, 2 touchdowns. Toting the rock after David Montgomery got hurt. Note
He
on-
came back in. I
Huh?
think.
Yeah.
He did, yeah. A
That
note on Jared Goff, who
Does
was
suck.
again
Oh,
super accurate, 22 of 25, 280, 2 touchdowns. Jared Goff faced the blitz 55% of the snaps because Brian Flores, he
He
loves
just
to bring
sends
the
the house.
pressure.
Yeah.
Did you see
And-
those highlights?
Yeah,
he was in there, not losing any focus. He had a touchdown pass where he literally
Goff
got
was
swiped down the shoulder.
13 of 16 for 168 yards and a touchdown
Dude was
against the
cooking.
blitz.
This is the thing about that Brian Flores defense, and I touched on it last week. Once that gets shown on film, there's only so much you can do with the limited players and their ability that you have.
Yeah, exactly.
By the end of the year last year, the Minnesota Vikings defense was just getting ran all over. I think the Lions kind of followed a little bit of the Green Bay Packers game plan and just played that way throughout the whole game rather than just one quarter like the Packers did. Where by the end of the year, dude, when Jordan Love played the Minnesota Vikings at the end of the season, he had a perfect passer rating versus them.
Remember
You
the
know,
last time they started?
They
fighting?
played the Seahawks last year. The Vikings did when they played the Seahawks, and Geno Smith went off against the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah. It's
You know,
their defense is very similar to what the Broncos do, where they like to blitz a lot and play man defense. The problem is that they don't have the secondary.
they don't have
They
freaking
can't-
Patrick
They don't have
Surtain.
Pat
Yeah.
Surtain who can
Right.
just go
They
out there
can't
and
run.
eliminate.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
like
When Harrison
Obviously-
Smith is dropping in the box and covering a slot receiver, you have a problem.
That's an issue.
right. I mean, like
That's a big issue.
I don't even know who the Vikings' #1 corner is.
Kirby Joseph?
The
No,
last
that's the
time-
Lions.
They went 5-0.
Is
They
Ivan
missed
Pace?
the
I think he's
playoffs.
a
Yeah.
safety.
What was that game in?
The last time they started 5-0, they missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
That
It's-
was when they had Case Keenum.
Case Keenum.
Started
Yeah.
their red
Yeah.
hot first 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And they went on like a
Vikings.
6-game
They
losing
always
streak.
do this. Vikings
It's-
always do this.
You got like old Stephon Gilmore,
They do have Gilmore. That's right.
Brian Murphy Jr.,
Yeah,
Shaquille
Byron
Griffin.
Murphy. Yeah, that's tough.
I don't know. You just
Yeah.
against Solomon Ross St. Brown, like can you leave one of those guys
Yeah.
that's one-on-one on single
Just
coverage?
coverage,
No,
right? Yeah,
can't
no,
trust
you
him.
can't have that at all. You know.
You just
And
have
I
to
don't
hope
think
you get
that
a
their
sack.
pass
you-
rush is. all that
I'll
there yet.
answer it for you, Jimmy. You can't. He had 8 catches for 112 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah,
So,
that's amazing.
you know,
That'll win you a ball game.
it will.
It will.
Yeah.
It will.
So great
Yep.
point there. Yeah, the Viking, the Brian Flores' defense. It's a really if you got the right guys on it, it works really well.
And if you've
but-
never seen it before,
yeah, and
if you're catching it the first time, it's tough to diagnose who's dropping, who's going, because it's really only two things: you're either showing and you're going, or you're showing and you're dropping.
You're gonna fail.
exactly.
There's really only a couple things. Once you learn the tendencies of a guy and what they're going to do on third down or second and long, if it's like second running play on first down, you stop him for 2 yards. So now it's 2nd and 12. That's a blitzing down. You kind of get a tendency down for that, Vikings team.
Exactly.
I'm just going to throw it over the top of you.
And that, I mean, the Lions any better than any other team at it.
Yeah.
Do you have enough time in the pocket? You could just have.
And when you
games.
see him twice a year,
Yeah.
it's like
you got
Yeah.
plenty of film.
Yeah.
They play everybody else in the division twice too.
Manning
Watch
kinda-
them play a lot.
they had that game too.
They did.
They kind of were. They were in control of that game. Aaron Jones scored a touchdown. They were in control. Early.
This game was so back and forth because they got in control early, and then they were down by double digits at 2 separate points. They went down by 11 at 2 different points
Right.
in the game, and then you get the strip, scoop and score, return
Yeah.
for a touchdown. On the very sure ball carrier David Montgomery.
Yeah.
I will say, that was Metellus punching that ball out. That guy's very underrated. Really like that guy.
Really good.
But he's not good enough to carry a defense
No, right.
with that. But he does make a lot of plays. I love that. Love watching that guy.
He's a good piece for them.
They
Yeah.
had a drive
I mean, they had
early
it.
in that game too where they got sacked out of field goal range.
Yeah.
So
And they lost by a field goal.
they lost by a field goal.
Going to the another NFC North team.
I want to say, actually,
Yeah,
just
say-
before
yeah,
we
sorry.
move on, the Lions pass rush with no Aiden Hutchinson still getting 4 sacks. Really good sign if you're
That's true.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Against a pretty solid
They're solid.
Vikings offensive line.
They're not bad.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
you put them in the top half, at least top 16 of offensive
Yeah.
lines. They're on the better
I'd put him in
half
the
of
top.
it.
Yeah, I'd put him in the top
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
Yeah.
6, 7, 5.
Yeah, so that
I know the Lions were blitzing too. They
Yeah.
kind of gave a little bit of dose of Brian Flores' defense right back at him with his offense.
that was just a
Good
really
way to
good
beat
sign,
the
Yeah.
to see that you can still generate pressure and get after the quarterback without Aiden Hutchinson, because that was something that was
It's your top
going to be
guy.
really
was a question.
concerning without the
Long term, now you're
defense.
going to go 11 more weeks, and you've already had your bye week.
Yeah,
That's going to be tough at the end of the year. And the Lions' bottom part of their schedule, I mean, they're going to have 3 of their last 4 games are on the road against top teams. They got to go to San
Yeah.
Fran. They still, I don't know. It's going to be rough for them. My Green Bay Packers boys pretty much dominating the game on all sides of the ball, other than Jordan Love throwing a couple. One interception was on him. The other interception, there's a couple guys still dropping balls for me.
Yeah.
We pretty much held CJ Stroud in check. We
He
barely,
was 10 of
we barely
41
stopped
Fantasy
away.
point.
86
Yeah.
yards.
We-
CJ shot through for 86 yards.
24-22 final. Evan Williams stopped a 2-point conversion late.
I love this Evan Williams guy.
Where was he at
Yeah.
Oregon?
Crazy.
Ever since he got
5th round
into
draft
the
pick.
lineup, dude.
He's
a
playing,
couple weeks ago
playing next to Xavier McKinney yesterday. It was a couple weeks ago. We finally,
against the Rams. Ever
Against the
since
Rams,
he's gotten
yes,
in
sir.
there, I mean, he's just all over the field.
yeah,
And he's been every time you see him making a play, it's like a big third down stop, stopping a 2-point conversion.
when we really had trouble stopping the run,
Yeah,
in that second half, Mixon was kind of getting free. Bad tackling, bad gap integrity for the Packers early. That's
definitely,
kind of my one complaint about this. Packers defense leads the league in turnovers right now. No turnovers yesterday. We actually lost the turnover battle by 3. We had a special teams turnover as well, where we set up their only offensive rushing touchdown inside the 10-yard line. Outside of that, they didn't really do anything.
Well, Mixon had 2. Are you talking about
The first one where muff
Right.
punt.
was just
Yeah,
insane?
yeah. So we set them up inside the 10-yard line. That was basically their only offense.
Fair enough. Yeah.
They had
Yeah.
they had no rhythm from Nixon. He wasn't able to keep the drive alive with any runs,
No.
or they weren't
I mean,
really trusting it.
Edrin Cooper took away him in the passing game
Yeah,
the whole day, and the Packers pass rush getting home with 4 sacks. So that helped us.
it's hard when you got to be able to have your quarterback turn his back on the defense and just hand it off. Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
get the run game going. And I don't like that teams just abandon it sometimes.
Yeah,
You'll go down by 10
Yeah.
points and they start getting into this throwing battle.
yeah.
run the freaking ball like once or twice a drive and
Yeah.
try to see if you can get something out of it.
Yeah.
It's like they got an all-pro running back.
Yeah.
They might as well. They
Yeah.
might as
I
well
mean,
give him the ball.
It was kind of tough going for Mixon. 25 carries, and he was only averaging about 4.6 a
Yeah,
carry.
you get
It's not terrible,
you get the
but-
25. But you get
I
the
mean-
ball 25 times. I mean, Josh Jacobs had the ball 12 carries, 76 yards, and a touchdown.
Right.
Granted, it was a receiving touchdown, but I mean, you get the ball 25 times.
Well,
That's
then
a lot, dude.
All of the receptions he
Yeah.
had too. He also caught the ball 2 times. So it was like 27 touches, but only 100 or 130 or 124 scrimmage yards.
Dude, we
on
held
27 touches.
Houston held under 200 total yards in the game.
Wow.
They only had 55 rushing yards, and they had 142, or excuse me, they had 142 rushing yards and only 55 passing yards.
All those sacks
Oh my
take away from
55
Yeah.
passing yards from C.J. Stroud.
Well,
Granted,
those,
no Nico Collins.
those are the sack yards. Like he had 86 in the box score, but like in terms
Oh,
of team
yeah,
stats,
the
the sack yards
Okay.
take
yeah,
out
that's
of the
what-
pass yards. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
It's
kind of
weird
crazy.
like that.
That's kind of crazy.
but yeah, no, I mean like it was honestly like the Packers shut the Texans down, and then they had to win it on the last second field goal.
That last
Just
drive,
interesting.
they gave Packers way too much time. They still had a timeout going into the drive. It's like
Plenty of
offense
time.
looks so
Boy, the
confident.
timeout. Jordan Love throws 2 picks and then just comes back last drive, needs a score.
Yeah.
Just no big deal, Mark. Dude, we were at the 50 with like a minute and 15 seconds. I didn't like we got too cute with a couple play calls. Clock was running down, 50 seconds left. We had a first down. We got stopped short on it was like a 55 seconds left. It was a 2nd and 1, and we just let 35 seconds run off the clock. And we're still at the 40, and I'm like, guys, like we just can't stop and just rely on a 50-yard field goal from a kicker that we just signed 3 days ago.
Who's been like out of
You
football
know,
for
out of
over a
football
year.
about a year. You know, well, he was in the Jacksonville Jaguars training camp, you said, so at least he had a
Yeah,
training
something.
camp where he had something.
Yeah.
But still not kicking in a game for
Yeah.
8 weeks, bro.
I
You know,
know
now
that-
your first kick is going to be in Lambeau. You know, where at the end of those afternoon games in Lambeau, the sun is always like half the field in the shade. So he was kicking into the shade, but his goalpost was in the sun. Kind of an odd, weird kick. Those kicks are always weird in Lambeau in those early season games. And I'm like, dude, like we're just going to rely on this guy. We have a timeout. Why didn't we kill it on a pass play? Guy got tackled. You know, Romeo Doubs caught that inbreaker. He got tackled, you know, in the middle of the field, and we just let 35 seconds run off the clock. I'm like, man, why don't we just go and try and punch this thing in? You know, we got another long pass play to, you know, Dobbs to set up like a 40-yarder, but, you know, he kicked the game winner to win it. But still, I didn't like our end of the game clock management there. I think we could have done a lot more with that time that we had.
It does feel like there was some luck involved in this win, which is sometimes
Hey, I'll take it.
You do got to get lucky,
I'll
but
take
you don't want to be relying on
No,
luck all season.
No, right, yeah. Yeah.
Unless you were the Colts in the early 2010s, then you were relying on luck all season.
Vegas and the Raiders, shit game, or excuse me, sorry, Stokely, 20-15 Rams.
Okay, can we talk about Antonio Pierce's clock management for a second?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
So you're going to go and
Oh,
you're
man.
down by
Crush it, Mercury. Tell me.
it's a one possession game. You're on 4th and goal, you're going to kick a field goal to cut the lead to still a one possession game. Like, what are we doing here? Just
Let's try to
I
score
mean,
some points.
you're going to need a touchdown regardless. You're right. It's 4th and goal. I mean, who knows if you're going to get that close again? Your offense has been just terrible, not just this game, but like all season.
all year.
Yeah, all year.
I mean, your defense is still kind of struggling against Tutu Atwell and DeMarcus Robinson. Like,
Yeah, man.
come on, like just
I mean, it
Go
is
for the
Matthew
score.
Stafford. Like he's gonna make guys look good.
He does make guys look good. Stafford's awesome, dude.
but still, how you got?
go for a score, Antonio Pierce. This is just like he makes these weird decisions where you're like, what is this clock management? What is this game management?
Is he in over his head, you think?
I really think so. I mean, I think when he got the interim coaching job, their season was over. there weren't a lot of expectations for the team. I mean,
Yeah.
they were waving the white flag on the season.
Yeah.
And yeah, they won a few games. The team seemed to really rally behind them, but like
Raiders Nation absolutely livid last year. I remember because they wanted a higher draft pick, but they wanted to keep playing, keep winning games, and they're like, "What for?"
exactly.
I mean, that clock management
What
right
for?
there kind of proves it's some type of tank job, something going on there.
Yeah.
They're trying to get that number 1 draft pick.
They need a
They need it
quarterback
because they want
bad.
Shador, and I mean, I don't know if I don't think Shador will go number 1 overall or top 5. So I think if you're Vegas, if you get a top
I
10,
mean, he is up there though. Who would you put above Shador?
well, right now Cam Ward is going to be the first.
Yeah,
first quarterback
definitely
draft.
Cam Ward.
Cam
Do you think
Ward,
Jalen
you know.
Milroe goes ahead of Shador?
No, I think Shador would get drafted ahead of him. It's just all the pass rushers and all the offensive linemen in this draft. That's going to kind of knock down, like when Justin Fields went like 11, like Patrick Mahomes went 15. There was like 6 pass rushers that went ahead of them. I think this year there's like they were saying I've been
Well, and there's probably going to
watching
be a
some
lot less
pre-draft
teams
stuff.
that are going to be having a high pick and needing a quarterback.
a quarterback. That's
Yeah.
exactly it. So, I think the Raiders are going to be one of those teams. I wouldn't be shocked to see the LA Rams maybe draft a quarterback in the second round for somebody to
Somebody just to kind of get in there and
just start learning behind
Stafford.
Stafford.
Because Stafford, he's still playing really well. I mean,
Oh,
he's
yeah,
not
yeah.
his top 2 guys. So
Right.
he's still probably got 2-3 years.
But that's
left in
if
the
you want to
tank.
sit somebody 2-3 years. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just the perfect time frame.
Yeah.
Good, really great guy to
Develop
develop behind
somebody.
too.
He's still playing at a pretty high level.
Carolina Panthers, you got to assume they're drafting quarterback.
Probably, yeah.
They're starting over there.
What happens with Bryce Young? Is that what team is going to take him in?
Well, I don't think anybody would trade. Do you think anybody would trade for Bryce Young? I don't think anybody would trade for
I
him.
don't think anyone would trade for him.
Losing to the
I
Washington
think-
Commanders and
Yeah, that's
without Jaden
40
Daniels,
to 7.
Marcus Mariota setting passing records, winning 40-7.
Just coming in and smacking them.
That
up.
leaves it. Yeah. So, Caveman, do you think anybody's going to trade for Bryce Young?
I don't think anyone will trade for him. But
I could
does
see.
it happen where he gets like a second chance? Like it won't be like Jared Goff where he gets traded away and then gets another shot.
Right.
It'll be.
Because I mean, at
like,
least Jared Goff showed that he can.
I think
does he go to a team and be a backup for a few years and
I
then
think
get another chance?
Wendy's might send them like a biggie bag and
Let's
like
go.
a drink carrier Frosties for him.
He might be delivering on DoorDash with old Cuzzy over there.
Yeah.
Who was that guy who's delivering
Doesn't
DoorDash?
really.
Desmond Ritter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. The Riddler.
NFC
Did
South quarterbacks
Yeah.
getting washed out and going to DoorDash.
Did you guys
I'd
watch
take
the
Derek
Kansas
Carr.
City San Francisco game? Brock Purdy stinks.
Begrudgingly.
Brock Purdy
The
stinks.
Chiefs are so boring.
I
to
picked the
watch.
Niners in our pick'em. I had first quarter. I knew.
Chiefs are
Chiefs
so
are gonna
boring
win.
to watch, man.
Yeah.
Chiefs are gonna win. They're gonna
As
run
soon
into
as
a
I-
team that's gonna just knock them out, dude. Because like anybody with a competent quarterback, I think if the Bengals play the Chiefs right now,
They win.
Bengals win.
If the Ravens play the
Same
Chiefs
with
right
the
now,
Ravens.
they
The
win.
Ravens
Dude, you got
walk away.
the NFL
Ravens
is
are gonna
like
smack
just
them.
handing out the easiest like schedule for the Chiefs. Like, oh, you get the Ravens before they get going. You got the Bengals while they were still getting it figured out.
Yeah.
Then who did they play for? The Falcons.
Falcons.
And then you have
Before
to
they
play
even
Derek
really
Carr.
got it going on offense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Derek Carr
it's not
stinks.
who you play; it's when you play them. But in the playoffs, my friend, there's no dodging anybody.
Yeah.
Those teams are going to be rocking and rolling. Cincinnati Bengals,
But
possibly Buffalo Bills.
they'll somehow find some voodoo magic to make
Something,
themselves
dude.
win.
I mean, it's so
It's-
boring to watch the Kansas City
They're
Chiefs
not
play.
fun.
They're not.
fun at all.
And Patrick Mahomes is not this quarterback that people put in a conversation. He's good. He's good. Patrick Mahomes is awesome. But there's just times where I'm like, there's plenty of dudes that you could put in that team with those guys in the prime of their careers, and they're gonna have just as much success.
Everybody,
Like,
You know,
he's having
Mahomes
like check
put
down
up-
simulated.
He put up stats with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelsey.
and also Mecole Hardman.
Yeah, I mean, like, all right, like those were, he was. I would say that he was probably one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But like, right now, the guy has more interceptions than touchdowns. They just
Yeah,
for some reason nobody can stop the run and like
right.
you watch a Chiefs game and you're like,
It's yards after catch.
oh, and also Andy Reid's just like somehow manages to scheme guys to where they're just like wide open. Like I'm like Mahomes is just like throwing passes to guys that are like
So easy.
15
Can't
yards
miss.
down the field with like nobody even near them.
Patrick Mahomes, 16 of 27, 154, no touchdowns, two
picks,
interceptions, and they win the game very easily.
handily.
You know,
That
they
defense
covered the
is
spread, no
Carrying
problem.
him.
That's a defensive football team, just like last year.
Yeah, it's
And,
just
I mean,
not
the
fun.
Niners,
It's just not fun to watch. Though.
they would have won the game if they went to their identity last year, being a defensive football team. They are not playing with the same edge at all. You're not
No,
getting the
they're
same production from that defense.
No.
And without Christian McCaffrey there for your offense, you're hurting severely. They are miles worse without Christian McCaffrey.
Brock Purdy's never going to beat the allegations, too. I mean, like we've seen, like they're 3-4 this year. Debo Samuel dealing with injury all season. He's missed a couple games. He was sick this one, so shout out Debo for putting up a 0 and multiple fantasy leaders for me. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
No Christian
that was awful.
McCaffrey all season. Brandon Ayuk's decided this. He went the Kadarius Toney, Kenny Galladay route after getting paid. Has just been absolutely terrible.
And
What do you?
he's rumored to have an ACL tear. So
Who?
Ayuk probably not back.
Oh, Ayuk, yeah, it's
Probably not coming back at all.
Not like they're
they
missing a
feared the
whole lot.
worst
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
out of
missing
that
a lot at
game.
all.
Shanahan had his head down. He was kind of fearing the worst after he saw that.
He got carted off and was like
What-
pointing at the
What's
leg.
the
Yeah.
What's
It was
the San Fran's record?
3-4.
3-4. I
They
mean,
lost
dude, the
2.
Seattle Seahawks are leading that division right now.
They've lost 2 division
Starting to
games
run
by
away with
1
it.
point, and after being shut out in the second half.
Can the Rams go on a run in the second half and take that division?
If they get healthy, like I
think
said,
so.
it's not like
They
Stafford
might.
has been playing bad. They've been
No,
competitive
right.
in like all their games. I mean,
Playing
besides
close.
that Cardinals game was weird where they just got like
Yeah,
slapped.
they
I mean, that just happens. Sometimes you have a bad.
I think they
game.
just lost Cooper Cup.
Yeah, it was like they just lost Cup and Nakua.
Yeah,
And Cup is actually questionable. So,
they opened his practice window, so he's been practicing.
I mean, but the way they can run that ball with Kyron Williams, like,
Yeah.
because I mean, Kyron Williams is still having a really good season, despite leading the league in like negative runs, and that's just because
Yeah.
I mean,
He's just
What
so
if he's-
small. He gets the ball so much because
Well,
there's
also-
nobody else there.
yeah,
too.
what like,
It's like
teams are obviously going to stack the box
Yeah.
because
he's
that's
getting the
their
ball
best player they've
45
got.
times a game. You
like
know,
they're just
like,
force feeding
you
him.
better have 2 touchdowns and 70 yards. Dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh well,
you're
he's
getting
got
that.
the most
Really
rushing
easy.
touchdowns in the league. I mean, despite all those negative runs, 436 yards. That's the 12th most. Which, I mean, the Rams' offensive line also been really banged up.
Banged up.
Hasn't
Yeah.
played that well.
That's true.
And despite all of that, he's still having himself a really solid season. So just imagine, like, you can finally get Kupp and Nakua back out there. They can finally take some of these guys out of the box. Just how much more deadly that running game is going to get. And when Stafford, has 2, top 12 wide receivers he can throw the football
that's-
to,
Makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
what that team could do. I mean, if they can just figure out how to hang into some close games with these bad teams, when they finally get healthy, yeah, they definitely could make it be a force and make a run.
Yeah.
To the postseason. I mean, they might be the reason the Niners don't make it, because right now
Yeah, dude.
Seattle's looking really good.
And their schedule,
They lost one to the Rams too. That was one of their divisions.
The Niners did. Yeah, that's right.
yeah. Where did that Seattle Seahawks game go? There it is. I wonder
Were
bring
they-
up their.
They kind of crushed Atlanta, who's been pretty hot the past 2 weeks, especially offensively. Kirko,
Yeah, they got
struggled.
Buffalo, LA, San Fran, Arizona, the Jets, Arizona, Green Bay, Minnesota, Chicago, LA.
Who's that, the Niners?
That's a
On the
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
It's a tough little schedule.
It is, yeah. So I mean,
They could win some of those for sure, though.
the Seahawks have definitely given themselves a good cushion, but it's by no means out of the realm of possibility for the Rams if they can start winning some games here. And they've been-
NFC West suffered.
They've been really close in a number of them. I mean, even when the Packers came to LA, They were closer to they hung in there with the Packers, who were just a much better team all across the board with and health wise and the
Yeah.
talent.
Yeah.
So
We got much more for you. We got some fantasy football. We got all the college football coming up. We got some top plays and much more NFL and college football for you on the way on a Monday Football Frenzy MB Radio till the final whistle. We will be right back.
Caveman, we can't find a key, brother. We looked in both bathrooms.
you want to get? Do you want a headset, babe?
I probably need to go. I need to study.
God, studying's for losers. You don't need to study.
All right. Well, thanks for coming and buying it.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, Sabrina.
Thanks for dyeing my hair.
Yes, of course. Yeah, that stuff's gonna wash out super easily for you. Like even before I use soap, even on my hand, like it just
Oh, it already
with water.
came off.
Yeah. So
Well, I'll try and leave it in.
Honestly,
as long as
I-
can for Wednesday. It
Yeah,
does look orange.
it does.
You
Yeah.
can tell, especially on the top when I look down.
Now that it's starting to dry a little bit, and
Yeah.
like you can see it on the camera.
It's not washing.
Hey, is that the
out
key?
with my hands. Yeah, I found it.
Okay. Good luck on your test today.
It's like hair gel. It's very stiff.
What are you studying?
Jordan Love, 15 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Patrick Mahomes, 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
He's got like over 60% of his passing yards this season are after the catch.
Yeah.
He's just throwing a bunch of checkdowns.
5 of Jordan Love's interceptions off drops, too.
Yeah. Loves.
I mean, Jordan Love's thrown 1 interception off 2 Packers drops. 2 guys in that Rams game, 2 guys dropped the freaking ball, and then like, what are we doing?
Tips.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll do college football, then we can do our fantasy football stuff.
There we go.
You guys can talk about Monday Night Football fantasy implications for starts and sits and stuff like that.
Yeah. I have a lot of different guys going tonight, so it's.
Yeah, talk about that.
We'll get into it. I got a pretty close game. I'm pretty sure I lost it, but I have a very slim chance.
I'm out in all my fantasy leagues. I've only won like 2 games in my Navy league, and Guillotine I've already lost. So I'm not even
Trey
paying
McBride
attention,
in
really.
Baltimore defense, and I got Justin Tucker. I have the very slimmest chance. If Trey McBride just does nothing, and Tampa Bay scores enough points to keep him under me.
Dude, I need Chris Godwin to go absolutely nuclear for me. So it probably won't happen, but.
And if Baker
He
goes
needs
off,
44. So we'll see.
fuck here. Baker versus Lamar and J.K. Dobbins. Yep. Leading scorer, the Rams defense with 24. And Drake London were my leading scorers.
Dude, I cannot believe I'm about to
Such
lose
a
to
bad
this.
league.
I'm about to lose to this guy that hasn't settled enough. I don't know how he's in first place, dude. Fantasy football is weird like that.
So
I'm 5-1, and I have a really weird lineup on this. Like I have HN and Kamara, and I'm pretty much just going and getting a defense off the
Coming back, brother.
every week. This whopping 67-point week from this team to.
Okay, you're not there, so something must have came up.
I found it.
Yeah, she was telling me. Yay! Well,
I accidentally clicked the wrong one.
No, you're good.
You are
Welcome
looking
back.
live at Military Broadcast Radio till the final whistle. Jimmy Covers. To my left is Orange Man,
Orange
Caveman.
It's the
To
O-line.
my right is HG. If you're wondering, folks, why Caveman is wearing a trash bag, it is because
Got some hair dye on.
he had to get his hair dyed. He lost the Thursday night football, Broncos versus Saints fan. Caveman being Saints fan, Mercury being the Broncos fan, the only resident Broncos fan. And Caveman spray painted his hair. So we applaud you for going through
Gotta
with
do it.
the bet. Because there's so many TikTok guys out there like, I'll shove a burrito up my bum, and then that never happens. It's like, I want to watch that,
The
dude.
peep guy though, that bar stool.
The peep guy, he did it.
Ate the peeps.
You know, he
Yeah.
might have, ulcers and, liver cancer, but
He
that's
did
here.
eat the peeps.
that is here
Yeah,
nor
all
there.
Those peeps.
I
Then
mean,
he didn't do all 320 in one sitting. He broke it up throughout the
up.
course of the week, but he got it done. So respect him
Yeah.
for that.
yeah,
That's a lot of peeps.
that's a lot of microplastics.
Yeah, I do.
I haven't eaten a peep in decades.
I couldn't even eat one peep. They're just like
Peeps are
pure
gross.
sugar.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
like
terrible.
disgusting.
I don't like peeps either.
I don't like
Yeah. Do you guys like those circus peanuts? Those like orange.
it. Those are gross.
They're
too.
awful, dude. That's like
It
old
feels
people
like you're chewing
candy
on
for
styrofoam.
Joel. Yeah, it is. yeah.
That's like, is this even
Yeah.
food? Is this edible for me?
So
Probably barely. Probably just barely classified as edible.
Just
Technically,
this.
under FDA regulations.
They just barely
Yeah.
made the cut.
like,
yeah,
it's technically not inedible, so they're able to get away with it. That's probably where it's at.
but Saturday, boys. Saturdays are for the boys,
Oh yes.
and it was action packed. If you follow
I don't
Jimmy
even know
Covers
where to
until the
start.
final whistle on TikTok, I gave you guys out Georgia money line. The boys rode. The boys won outright, and it wasn't even really outside of. The game was played in Texas, so I think Texas got some home cooking. If that game is played in Georgia,
On the edge.
if that game is played in Georgia, Georgia wins by 50. Georgia wins by 50. I said it in the show last week. I was like, I just don't know if Texas has seen the defensive fronts that Georgia's going to throw at them. All the combo coverages that Texas saw, and that kind of confused Arch Manning there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I don't think Texas was
I mean,
anywhere
anything.
close to being prepared for anything that they saw.
Texas
defensively
went
Georgia.
from benching Quinn Ewers, putting in Arch Manning, to benching Arch Manning,
And
putting
putting back
Quinn
in.
Ewers back in.
Yeah, all in the same game.
Yeah, it
You
was
know.
It's
kind of
rough,
a disaster. Yeah, their offensive line, which was touted as one of the best in the country, just could not
Eat up.
figure
Swiss
out how to.
cheese.
Yeah.
Swiss cheese O-line.
Yeah, really though, and I was gonna go to. Hold on, give me just one quick second here.
Another one I saw. I was talking about Purdue getting that primetime upset. They lost 35-0.
Goose egg.
Oh yeah, no, that was
They
bad.
did not.
dude.
They came out some pretty
Ohio
clean
State killed
uniforms. Oregon did as well,
Or Oregon,
but
yeah.
man, they got beat down.
If you're Oregon, you kind of have to feel bad about only scoring 35. I feel like you could have done more. But good sign for their defense.
Yeah,
pitching.
Quinn
Shut
Ewers, 25 of 43, 211, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, but pretty much stopping everything on the ground, only basically like 60 rushing yards for the Texas
Man.
Longhorns, and they had nothing going overall. Georgia able to score early and able to score often and pretty much just milked that game the rest of the way. So Georgia easily covered the 5-point spread. How they were getting 5 points against Texas, I have no idea. That's the way that it broke down. Georgia now are they number 1 or number 2? We'll check the standings here in a minute.
I got you. I'll pull those up here.
They are sitting at 2.
Sitting at 2, so
Texas dropping to the 5.
and Georgia coming up their next part of their schedule after. They still got a game with Florida. They got a game with Ole Miss. They got a game with Tennessee at
Ooh.
home. That game is
that-
going to be November 16th. Must
Okay.
watch
that's a must
prime
watch.
time game right there.
Check that one out.
They play with Mass, and then they end the game with Georgia Tech, who's a sneaky team, but Georgia should win pretty handily in that game. The spread's already 21 points.
Well, that was
Um,
Georgia's schedule. You're looking
Yeah,
at?
that was Georgia's
Okay.
schedule, brother.
Well,
How about
That's,
BYU, gentlemen?
BYU.
They had the last second touchdown to win it. That
Oh, that
Oklahoma
was just a
State
nuts
BYU
play.
game
Wild.
was
Wild
back and forth a battle.
Yeah, Oklahoma
They're up to
State.
the 11. Oh my God. BYU, man. There's just no passing in Oklahoma State. They
No,
went through
yeah,
three
that's-
quarterbacks against BYU.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
And
It's
then
really Ollie Gordon has
Ollie
to
Gordon
succeed
is-
for them. Right? It's not gonna
Yeah.
work.
they did cover the point spread, and we did bet Oklahoma State to cover the point spread, so that came through for your boy.
Yep.
We had a great week sports betting. Jimmy covers TikTok, all the socials. Which team? What game were you checking out, Mercury?
Well, I actually I just wanted to go back to that Tennessee Georgia game that's coming up because are they in the same like subdivision of the SEC?
I think so.
Okay, so they wouldn't be able to play each other for the SEC championship.
No.
But I mean, you gotta assume the winner of that is going to represent that part of the SEC and the championship right there.
I'm gonna get to it right now for you.
And they're probably going to be playing. I mean, Texas still does probably have the best path to there, but don't they play Bama? They play Bama
Texas
later, don't
A&M.
they?
Undefeated in conference.
No kidding,
They're
really.
gonna be up there. LSU is also undefeated in conference. Texas A&M 6-1, sneaky. Who's their one loss to?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Looking pretty good for Notre Dame's resume, you think, boys?
Yeah,
LSU and Georgia, Tennessee rounded out. Alabama falling to 5-2, both their losses in conference. That's going to basically put the death knell in there for them to win the conference
yeah, I
or
don't
go
think
to
they
the
get to go
conference
to
championship.
the championship,
Yeah, unless
So-
like carnage and chaos happen and
which I think
you
it
know,
could, but
Tennessee beats Georgia, then Tennessee loses to, another upset. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, if there's multiple 2-team losses,
Yeah.
it shakes it up.
it shakes it
You
up.
got to be undefeated in conference or lose one game in your overall record to make a conference championship now.
Okay.
It is really tough to make these.
I want to look at the A&M and LSU's rest of their schedules because
I got it right here for you.
the SEC championship's wide open right now. I mean,
It is.
A&M.
A&M plays LSU next, so that'll knock them out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's
And they
the top
play-
two.
And A&M got a sneaky matchup with South Carolina in South Carolina. That's a weird and tough place to play. Those
It is.
Gamecocks, they're going to come out fired and ready, prepared for that game. That's a night game, November 2nd in South Carolina. Then they play New Mexico State, so that's a cupcake. They go to the Plains in Auburn, take on Auburn November 23rd. Then they end the year. They go to Austin and play the Texas Longhorns. And that's probably going to be college game day
Oh, yeah.
up the alley for Pat McAfee show basically because Texas
A&M
A&M.
going to Texas.
That game is Battle of Texas.
Ooh.
That is going to be a slobber knocker, boys.
That
So
one, keep your eyes
LSU,
out.
here's their schedule. Obviously, they got A&M. Then here's another. This is probably college game day, November 9th. Alabama in Death Valley,
Oh man,
mind you. Then they got Florida, Vanderbilt, who
Sneaky.
sneaky.
Sneaky
They
They're
play
right
ball.
now.
They play ball over there in Nashville now, boy.
Yeah, they do.
They play some football.
And then Oklahoma, which that should be an
That
easy
should be
win
a
for them.
cakewalk,
So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, does
All
LSU
of this is
have
going to
a-
shake its way out, man.
Does LSU have a chance to
Outside?
make the SEC championship
They have
if they
to
can
dodge
handle
an
Bama
upset.
They got to handle Bama.
and then dodge Vanderbilt?
Then they got
upset?
to dodge an upset. I think.
It's tough.
You
So,
know,
I
I
mean-
think they might play for if they play for the SEC championship game. I think they're going to be playing Georgia, and that's going to be Georgia
Yeah.
Bulldogs running roughshod over Brian Kelly
So I mean, who do we
in
think?
LSU.
That'll be bad.
No problem.
Who do we think it is? It's going to be in the SEC championship. I mean, I think Georgia. We can pretty safely
I got
assume as a
Georgia.
lock.
I think Georgia.
I mean,
Maybe Tennessee. It's just gonna. I mean, if Tennessee
but they're in the same.
wins I know, but if Tennessee wins that game,
But they could jump them.
I mean, and Tennessee is no
They'll
joke,
get
brother.
tied.
And the game's
That-
in Volunteer Stadium.
It's at Rocky Top.
It's at
in
Rocky
Athens.
Top, brother.
Ooh.
I mean, so I don't know, dude.
Dude, Tennessee's getting some like huge
They got
games.
they
at
got
home.
both. Well, they've been bad for the last 5 years, and they've been and it is on a rotation there in the SEC. So
Yeah.
they got like next year. I don't even want to know what their schedule's going to be like next year. Fade Tennessee next season, sports betting, because they're going to be going on the road to Austin, to Bama, to Georgia. How good is LSU to next season? Probably going to be pretty good.
Like, the more
Nussmeier
you
probably
win,
coming back.
The more you win, the more you got to travel.
The more you gotta travel.
The more you lose, the more you're gonna
Play
in
at home. That's
stadium.
100% what happens. Yeah.
So like, they have a really good cutout schedule this year to go after something and try to compete. Honestly, I'm going Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I think they
Yeah.
take that one against Georgia. If they lost to Arkansas, that's their one loss at home.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
that was an
think-
upset. That was a crazy game.
I don't think they lose another one because Rocky Top's huge. That place is impossible to play at.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like,
tough.
Doesn't that one have like 100,000? That's one of the
It
biggest
is. It's one of the
stadiums.
biggest
the way they
stadiums in the
color
SEC.
coordinate like
Yeah.
the stands too, so
Yeah.
it's like the sections of orange and the sections of white.
Yeah.
and the
I don't know if
spotlights.
they still do this, Mercury, but I've been to a couple games in Knoxville. My brother went to Auburn, so every time I've been there, they were playing Auburn. One time when I was in the Navy, one time when I was out of the Navy. And when I bought tickets, about 2 hours after I bought the tickets online through StubHub, which at that time was like a college football, big time ticket purchaser back then. And when StubHub was like the
StubHub was huge.
only one that was like selling,
They're huge.
tickets. Now it's like everybody and their mom sells tickets, but somebody from the box office called me, and they were like, "Hey, are you on Auburn's side or Tennessee side?" I'm like, "Well, I'll be there for Auburn because I bought my tickets. They're even on StubHub. They asked you, are you here for Auburn or are you here for Tennessee?" And I was like, "I'm here for Auburn," so I bought tickets for Auburn sideline. And then the lady called me from the box office, and she was like, "Hey, do you want to be orange or do you want to be white?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she was like, "Well, we color coordinate our entire stadium." And I was like, "You color coordinate your entire stadium?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, for the night games, if it's a big game, we color coordinate the entire stadium." And I was like, "Well, I want to wear orange." So they literally just moved my seat one row back behind where I was at. And it was basically the same seat, just one row back. And I was in orange and the people in front of me were white. And
That's pretty sick.
it was the checkerboard, orange and white going all the way around.
They still do that.
They still do that for sure, but it was the first time that I learned about this. Is back
That's
in 2000.
awesome.
This was the
So-
year before Cam Newton got there, 2009.
So they kind of did that for Super Bowl 50. When you walked in, instead of the color coordinator, they handed you a sheet. And like you had no idea what the sheet was. And you opened that sheet and it had different like colors, and it told you if you're in this aisle, then you're supposed to raise this up. And at the end of the like Super Bowl 50, the crowd it basically read peace, love, and joy for Super Bowl 50. And then
I remember this.
and then the halftime came, and then it was the factor X, and it left everybody speechless. Like,
Yeah.
really, you're gonna preach? Yeah.
They kind of do this at wrestling too. Sometimes they'll just give people signs,
Yeah,
or there's certain parts of the crowd that are like, "You guys are cheering for the heel tonight."
right.
Some people are gonna cheer for the good guys.
Yeah.
So they kind of do
I
that.
love
It's
that,
really
though.
fun.
Yeah, me too.
It makes it
It's
really
awesome.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just
WWE.
adds to the atmosphere
It
of the
does.
game. So shout out Tennessee for
Yeah,
doing
shout
that.
out Tennessee. We got a comment from
Yeah,
Kyle.
switch.
How about see, and that's what I mean. Like if the game was played in Georgia, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And they
Saints
probably
gotta
blow
take-
them out by 40.
Saints better take note on that.
Yeah.
No call PI. We're just throwing trash on the
Gotcha.
refs.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think it was a bad call.
It was a
initially.
bad
Like,
call.
I mean, if anything, you could have called it more PI on the Georgia offensive
Right.
player because I mean he's
Yeah.
like arm barring him out like around the neck area, not even turning around for the ball, and he kind of pushes him into the interception anyways.
Yeah,
Like the Georgia guy just literally shoved the defender back.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, this is for me, I guess."
yeah.
So it was a bad call.
It was just a bad call overall.
Yeah.
You could have called pass interference on both, made it offsetting, and just replayed it down. Nobody would have cared.
I don't like the precedent that
Yeah.
we're setting that we can just throw trash on the field.
Yeah, that's
That's
also,
yeah,
yeah, you
that's-
can't.
that's-
You can't.
That's
have that.
So-
insane.
But that's Texas. That's Texas. All them dang Republicans down there in Texas. They got the panties in a bunch. They want to throw my water bottles and my microplastics on my football field, and then wonder why my team gets blown out for a second. That's good down there.
Lucky they didn't have tomatoes or anything, dude. They'd be
Also,
chucking.
something else we got to talk about. These fake injuries are getting out of control. Alabama had-
Phantom.
Alabama
Teams
had
are going
a-
fast, and they got a drop guy where a guy
Yeah.
just goes down. That's it.
They had an absolutely egregious one. And again, it was the officials effed up because they didn't let Alabama substitute. because when Tennessee came in. So I mean, they didn't stop the play and let Bama substitute. So I can see why they were faking injury, but then they messed up and they had a guy run off the field, and then they just like the coach just shoves him in the back. He's like, "Get back out on there, faking injury."
Yeah.
Then pushes him, and he just goes,
Yeah.
The second he
he
steps on
flops
the
down.
field off the sideline.
Yeah.
Totally fine. Yeah.
They got to get those out of there.
Yeah.
'Cause there's a designated guy on like every team.
Every team. Yeah.
There's, like,
They
the
call
people-
you hear the code word from the sideline, and if you get that code word and you're that player with that code word,
There's a
down
bar-
you go.
the
Yeah.
Barstool guy is like diehard Tennessee, and
Yeah.
there's an offensive lineman
Yeah.
every time
Every
on
time.
the field goal.
Yeah.
So if the offense or Tennessee scores too fast on the field goal, there's an offensive lineman that always subs in and always gets injured every time. And it's
Yeah.
the same guy every time. You'll
Yeah.
notice it. Just watch one team for the rest of the year,
You
and you'll start
you-
seeing it.
you know who started that? You know who started this, dude?
"Who's that?"
Jim Tressel, Ohio State, because when they played
I thought you were gonna
Miami,
say Chicago White Sox.
that would
I
have
thought you
been
were
funny.
gonna say
That would have been
that.
great. Jim Tressel, Miami heard in my first one to implement it, used it as a weapon because Miami was going fast and they were decimating the Ohio State offense or the Ohio State defense. And when Miami was going fast, Ohio State had a guy. When they started picking it up, they get 3, 4, 5 plays in a row. First down, second down, first down, first down, second down, first down. That guy drops, and it's like, oh yeah. They called it back in the day. They called it phantom cramping. You know, where like all of a sudden you start cramping, you see a player lift his leg up. Oh, he's cramping. Oh, okay, like yeah. First one to do it was Jim Tressel in that 2002 national championship game. versus Miami.
NCAA's got to do something to make this like illegal, or
But then you bring it in. Well, what if the player is injured and he's just trying to tough it out, and what stays, what goes, who's faking, who's not. I don't know. It's kind of tough.
yeah, that's hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sabrina. Yeah, I was at a Nuggets game. I went to the Lakers game in last series, and the Nuggets did that with light up wristbands.
They had that going. Game 5 of the WNBA Finals last night. They had
Did
the
they?
light up
I
wristbands.
saw that.
Yeah,
Everybody had the towels.
Towels.
We'll talk about that on the Monday show, but absolutely electric.
Yeah. Wednesday show. Yeah.
Absolutely electric environment.
I'm
for the
sad.
finals up
I
there.
did have the Minnesota Lynx
Yeah.
at
I thought they were
11-1.
gonna give 'em.
Man.
I thought
It went to overtime, and I was hopeful. And then, Sabrina Ionescu just basically took over overtime, and that was that.
No, it was Brianna.
Brianna
Ionescu
Stewart,
was
yeah.
terrible. She only needed
She
one
couldn't,
shot.
she couldn't hit
But
anything.
yeah,
Brandon Stewart, that's right.
Stewart.
Well, Sabrina set her up, though,
Yeah.
with some assists there.
She
I don't
did.
know.
Yeah, she was finding other ways. Like she was passing and everything.
She's
She
pretty
just
good.
couldn't get a
She's
bucket to
pretty good.
drop.
But
There was
what's her name from the
ticky
Lynx,
tacky
dude,
foul call
is
too.
awesome. I never heard of her until this year.
Collier's bucket. for
She's
sure.
freaking
Yeah.
nice, dude.
She-
I like her a lot.
And she's
Tatum
young, so
McBride
like
was
I mean,
really
she's
good
just
in
hitting
that
her
last
prime.
night.
Cool. That's good to
So-
hear. Good to know.
There's some more drama now. We will definitely cover that.
We will.
on the
Yeah,
Wednesday
talk
show.
Jimmy covers.
This is the football frenzy.
This is
though.
football
We're
frenzy.
gonna get
We're
back
gonna
to
get back to
football.
football. Yeah.
Let's go to
Um,
Army, bro, guys.
Yeah.
Army football.
Bryson Daly,
Yes.
5 rushing touchdowns, and he has one through the air. 171 yards on the
Shout
ground.
out Army Military Broadcast Radio.
That Army
Come on,
offense
They're
is
kicking butt. man.
crazy.
They
Ar-
beat up
dude,
on East Carolina.
You gotta call V, and we gotta set up a
We
watch
gotta set
party.
it up.
Dude,
We're
A watch
bringing the
party,
projector.
dude.
He's got a man cave.
Dude, if he has a
We're
man
setting
cave,
it up.
just set up the cameras on me, and I'll host, and I'll just make this thing.
Yeah, V doesn't really have a man cave. The man cave is the living room, and the wife just doesn't come in. He doesn't really have a man cave.
That's
I don't
man
know.
caving up.
That's
I
man
totally
cave.
get- I
That's
totally
all-
get what you're
That's all I
saying,
need.
buddy. That's all you need.
That's
That's
all
a
I
man
need.
cave right there.
But yeah, when is the game?
Joel, maybe use one of your. It's a Commander's Cup. It's the last game of the
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, it'll be
Okay,
later.
so-
Army, Navy, dude.
That's
Use
like
one of
what?
your contacts. Let's set something up.
Like, come on,
We
we
Let's
Let's
gotta
set
do a
some,
watch.
dude. I'm gonna
It's
crush
shipping
it
up.
for MB Radio for Army Navy.
Okay.
just
Let
fingers
it will be hosted
Caveman
by
said
you
he's gonna
three.
dress up like a billy goat if Navy
It'll
wins.
It'll
Where-
be hosted by you three.
Okay, so where do you guys want to do this? Where are we thinking?
Let's go to the game. MB Radio.
Okay, and the
Sponsors-
game is
It's in Annapolis, Maryland.
Yeah.
man.
Well,
You're making me
that-
work
that's a
overtime.
Let's
backup
call up our
plan.
boy Shocky.
What-
I won't
the
cuss for
original
2
plan
weeks
was
on the
V's
show,
house.
and he can send us to the Army Navy game.
The original plan was is always V's house, right?
Okay,
He
right.
does it there.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
I'm down for that.
It would be cool to go to the game, but if we just set up hosted by you three, the veterans, at
Yeah.
Drew's house.
We
on
could
his
do that.
couch, right there.
So
Two
it,
sound guys here.
so it's
Yeah.
in Maryland. In other words.
Yeah, it's in Maryland.
Yeah,
The game's
yeah.
in Annapolis, Maryland. This
Okay,
year.
I'll make some phone calls.
Let's
Yeah.
See what we can
go.
do.
Yeah.
My man.
I got some family out in Maryland and Philly, so if we really
Hey,
need a spot to
I
stay,
could get us tickets in there. It's just I don't know about the airfare. I don't know if I can pull that. So I'll see what I can
Alright,
do.
that
Omaha
You got, that
Productions.
big, you got that big truck, man. We'll
Omaha
Oh,
Productions.
Road
That's where Stokely
Road
comes in.
trip.
Stokely, if
No,
you're
we're packing
watching,
in my car.
Stokely, call
No
into the show,
problem.
720-619.
I love your car, dude. Your car is like the Ghostbuster mobile.
It is.
That,
It's
I'm
cute.
not a veteran, but my damn car. That's a veteran.
He's seen some shit.
That is
It's
a
been
veteran.
through
I've seen
some
some
stuff. Yes,
shit.
sir.
I
Well,
like it.
the caveman mobile, it's been through in the ringer.
It has.
Speaking of the midshipmen, that defense of theirs
Hey.
was nasty.
Nasty.
Two return touchdowns, 2 pick sixes.
Yep.
Or
Hey,
what?
Army Navy
One was a
both
fumble
undefeated.
actually, but
Army Navy both undefeated.
31-17.
dude, they were going crazy.
Army Navy both
It was us
undefeated.
talking about it. If they play each other in the Army Navy game, their Commanders Cup, and then the next week will be the conference championship. So they might play each other back to back weeks.
Are they in a conference?
No, I
They're
think they're
both-
still independent.
I think they're
aren't
independent.
they?
No, they're both in the American. They're both in the
No
AAC. They're,
Oh,
yeah, they're in
they
the
are.
AAC now.
The AA.
I think you're right.
They're the top two in the
Caveman
AAC.
dropping
Everybody
truth
else
bombs
sucks.
over here.
Because their conference games are playing Charlotte. I
Yeah.
think the only independent teams are UMass, UConn, and Notre Dame.
Yeah,
Dude,
Army
oh.
Navy, top of the
Yo.
AAC at
No
4-0
kidding.
and 6-0.
Everybody that's tuning in to TikTok, we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Especially you, Marcus Davis. Thank you for stopping by.
Welcome in.
Thanks, Marcus.
Good morning.
Thank you for stopping in. Yeah, so
Army
I mean,
Navy, both
boys, what
undefeated.
are we?
Well, what
Let
that
us know
knock
what you
them out-
guys are. Your thoughts are.
I mean,
on
Tulane's
the-
right there too. So if Army beats Navy or Navy beats Army, that puts them at 1 loss. I think maybe Tulane.
One of
Could be.
them beat Tulane already, I think.
I think you're right. I think Army did.
All right, so
So
Navy
they-
just has to beat Tulane as well.
Yeah.
Let's go over the remaining schedule for each team. Okay, Navy, their biggest challenge is this Saturday. They got Notre Dame.
I was going to
That's
bring
a
that
huge
up.
game.
I was going to bring
That's a
that up.
massive game.
Yeah,
This
I think
could
Navy.
add a one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then they play Rice, South Florida, then Tulane.
that game is in Annapolis, Maryland. Notre Dame does have to go to Navy.
They do have to go there. That's good.
It's a
It's going to be
tough
bumping.
place to play,
It's going to be bumping.
for
And then
sure.
Let's see what Army's remaining schedule is as well. They also have to play Notre Dame too. So I
Yeah,
mean,
at the end of the
there
year,
is
yeah.
a chance that both of these teams are either undefeated, they both have one loss,
loss.
or somebody drops one to Notre Dame that somebody
Yeah.
doesn't.
This is good for Notre Dame's, resume too, going into the college
Exactly.
football final.
Well, and dude, Notre Dame has a ton to play for because they're
Yeah,
not in the conference either. They're independent.
they're
so
independent.
They
They're
can
fighting.
only
We
make
do have a contract with the ACC, where we'll basically be the second team from the ACC into the college football playoff.
Okay.
but so they do have to win. Like,
We have to win
based off of
We have to win.
you
it.
know their merit.
If we finish with 1 loss, we have a guaranteed spot. If we have 2 losses or more, we're up for the chop and block.
it's
basically.
You're at the
you're
12
at the
seed
mercy
now.
of an
Right.
at-large. So
Well,
yeah.
that's-
And I think we're better than Iowa State. I think if Notre Dame played Iowa State in a neutral field, Notre Dame mops Iowa State.
I mean, they almost dropped one to UCF this weekend. That was an incredible game. That was a lot of fun to watch.
That one was fun.
It was Iowa State's defense. I mean, they were just giving up big play after big play. They gave up almost multiple return touchdowns. One guy dropped the ball on a pick six. He dropped it at the 1 yard line. And thankfully for UCF, it rolled out at the 1 instead of, getting like picked up or going out of the back of the end zone. So they just were able to punch it in the very next play. But
The implications with
almost
Notre
crazy.
Dame and the 2 teams that we just discussed, the Army and Navy, could affect how many teams from the Big Ten get in with Indiana
Oh,
kicking the crap out of
They beat
Nebraska.
the snot out of
56
Nebraska.
to 7. Indiana
Indiana.
has to play Ohio State and Michigan still. So that's going to shake out that conference for sure.
Michigan's not that good, man. They're
I
out of the top
think Indiana's
25.
could win that game, but I don't know. I mean, that's a game where Indiana could get jobbed against Michigan.
Indiana,
Who
they got
knows?
a ball club. Ohio State's definitely going to be tough for them. Michigan, they're a shell of what they were last year. They lost way too much in terms of
So-
coaching staff, talent, and players to the draft.
Even if it's in the big house, I think Indiana would probably destroy it.
They have a
Right
chance,
now,
yeah.
Will
Indiana
Johnson's
at the
out for
top
that
of the
defense,
Big Ten. At the top of the Big Ten is Indiana, Oregon, Penn State, and Illinois. Illinois also winning with throwback leather helmets.
Those are
Those were
Those are
sick.
clean.
We talked about that in the group chat. Those were fire.
those took like 2 hours
Each to make.
hand stencil.
Illinois 6-1. Everybody else undefeated 7-0 or 6-0. So that thing's going to shake out itself too with Penn State and Ohio State, and Indiana playing Ohio State as well. You know, if they only have one loss in Ohio State, they could be playing in the Big Ten championship. How do you keep them out? How many teams from the Big Ten get in at the end of the year? You know, on
What? Let's
that
look at,
at large bids is what they're calling it.
let's look at Oregon's remaining schedule because they have a chance to. They could be the number 1 seed if they just hold on because that's where
So,
they're at right now.
Upcoming games, they got Illinois this week, Michigan, Maryland, Washington, or Wisconsin, and then they end the season with Washington. So pretty easy,
Pretty winnable games.
winnable
Yeah,
games.
Wisconsin.
And Maryland,
Illinois this will be the game that
Illinois
shakes
is
out the
probably
top
their
of
toughest one they got left.
that, for sure.
Yeah.
And I am hammering the over in that game, boys. and
Oh, and
girls.
let's not forget
You're
Penn
listening on
State
TikTok.
is
Penn State too.
they're up there. They're undefeated as well.
Penn State is up there. Penn State, they do have a tricky little part to finish their season. They play Washington. They still have to play Ohio State. They play Washington, Purdue, Minnesota, and Maryland. So really, that Penn State-Ohio State game, Ohio State plays frickin', Indiana and Illinois and Penn State. That's going to be tricky for Ohio State there.
Definitely. If they drop another one too, that one guy is going to do more
Yeah,
bets.
they play IU at the end of the year, November 23rd. That Indiana-Ohio State game. But there's going to be plenty of shaking out by then.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I
It'd
mean,
be
end of the
interesting
year.
to see how many people from the Big Ten.
By the end of the year, I'd probably say we'll have 8 of the 12 seeds, pretty much where we know
Yeah.
these guys are going to be in it.
And-
End of the year, dude, it's going to be till the
Nuts.
final whistle on NB Radio on Mondays is going to be electric
I mean,
coming up around the corner, boys. So
right now
tune in.
it's looking like you're going to have a lot of Big Ten SEC representation. Those 2 divisions are pretty stacked. There's a lot of teams that are just
Yeah,
rolling
Kyle
right
off the
now.
top. Indiana's a real deal. I mean, hard to argue right now.
We'll just look at some of what they did against what's their name, Nebraska.
Yeah, Nebraska. I mean,
56 to 7.
a little overrated, Nebraska.
I think so.
A little
You're right.
They're
overrated.
too young.
We might have
Yeah,
had
they
too
beat
young
they
of a
beat
start.
Colorado, and everybody was like, "Oh, Nebraska's back," and I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Just attack
Yeah, I
CU,
think-
Swiss cheese O-line.
Yeah.
You gotta win.
Yeah, that was CU. To their credit, I think they've done a better job of figuring out how to protect Shador. Their defense does still really struggle against the run when the team's a good running team. But
Yeah, I agree.
an impressive win against Arizona where they looked very complete.
Yeah,
They looked
Yeah.
very complete against UCF too.
Yeah, they did.
They just made some bad mistakes against Kansas State. Still nearly won that game. So
yeah, they barely lost.
Dude,
But-
Just barely.
SMU is in the ACC now.
they are, yeah.
Yes.
That's a monkey wrench in that conference with Pitt undefeated, Miami at
It's gonna
7-0, and Clemson at 6-1.
It's going to be so chaotic because we Indiana, Pitt, like nobody was expecting these teams. Like these guys have come out of
I know.
nowhere.
Right.
You got Army and Navy are all of a sudden in the fold. Vanderbilt's in the top 25 now. Like
Boise State is a monkey
Boise
wrench.
State is
UNLV's
something
a
else.
monkey wrench. I mean, the end of this college football season, dude. Previewing next week.
nuts.
I mean, Miami at Jimmy Cover. If you're watching on TikTok, follow Jimmy Covers on TikTok, giving out the best bets. I mentioned it on one of my TikToks. That ACC schedule coming down. Miami's just been a cash ATM covering. Bet them again in the first half. If you bet Miami in the first half, undefeated against the spread. Absolutely unstoppable in the first half. Second half, teams play them. They see it. Okay.
Yeah.
And they kind of adjust. They get into close games.
with
They did.
Louisville. Yeah.
Louisville. I bet them in the, but they had a 20-point lead at halftime.
Yeah.
You
That
know
is
what
my
I mean?
big
They had a
concern
two-
with Miami.
Their spread was 2 in the first half, and I was like, oh, Miami's probably going to be leading by 5.
Decent, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
Cam Ward's solid. Probably the best. I love watching him play quarterback. I think he's a easy
Real
top
calm
10
in the pocket.
Gotta
He's
be
like-
top 5. One of the first quarterbacks taken in the
Yeah,
NFL.
I mean,
Great to utilize.
I
the
think
clock.
you're right. Where he's the number 1 QB prospect right now.
He's got to be.
I would
They-
think so.
They don't turn
Yeah.
the ball over a lot. The issue isn't their offense. It's like they're undefeated. The games they've almost lost because they're letting Cal run up and
Yeah.
score.
That's
Run up
their
and down the
defense
field.
gets
Wow.
complacent and
George's
Let's-
quarterback, is he draft eligible this year? Did you guys
That-
see that?
Yeah.
I think
That-
so. Yeah.
I think he's dropping way far, especially if they lose more games.
Yeah.
Because you see, a lot of the times these guys get put under pressure, and it's rough for them. Because they whooped the Longhorns.
Yeah, I mean,
Still
I
had
don't know.
2 picks.
I think he's
Yeah.
kind of like a Stetson Bennett situation where it's like,
He has
Oh,
a
yeah.
live arm, that Carson Beck kid.
He does.
He's
Yeah.
got a live arm. He can make all the throws. He's tall. I think somebody's going to put him in that NFL system.
I think
Someone
he's
will
a,
definitely take a chance there.
he's a good like later round pick where it's like you can bring
I
this
think
guy
he's
in.
going to
And
be
let
a
him.
second round easy.
All right, I can see that
Yeah,
too. Yeah,
just because,
Second, third.
just like to me, I see a lot of Jordan Love in him.
that's
You
true.
know, from college, where it's like
Okay.
tall guy, arm strength. Some of the teams in that aspect of like, oh, he threw 2. I don't think NFL teams give one iota about that. It's can I translate his skills from the college level to
Can't
the
really
NFL
help that, yeah.
level? His footwork, his pocket presence, some of the things you can't teach it at the quarterback position. I can teach you how to read out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 progression. I'm going to give you, say, hey, maybe, Miami, wants to draft a quarterback because they don't know what's going to happen with Tua. Give Carson Beck, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Wallace, some of those. I think I'm going to be able to be okay.
Yeah.
Some of those things that you can't teach with the arm talent,
Yeah.
I think Carson Beck's going to be one of those guys.
Fair enough.
Same with Jackson
sometimes
Dart.
I get like nervous about guys that come from like super stacked college teams,
I see your point.
but because you're like, I mean, like they're just on all 3 phases. Their team's always so much
Playing.
better than the opponent,
Yeah.
and it's hard to even when you make mistakes to lose a game and to face a lot of adversity like that.
Yeah.
That's why I wasn't very high on JJ McCarthy, although we don't know how he's going to play because the knee injury. But he looked good in the preseason. A lot of people felt confident about that. But preseason's its own
That's
different thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Um,
I never even thought that he was going to get the
Yeah.
starting job.
I didn't think he was a first
No,
round pick.
I didn't think.
I thought Sam Darnold would be starting, just not playing.
To me, that was a
level
little
that he
media
is.
hype.
Yeah,
Winning
But
the national
I can see-
championship, turning around. and
Carson
hanging out.
Beck does have like the better like physical size and stature,
Totally.
and you're
Way
right,
bigger arm. Way
huge arm,
Huge
yeah,
arm.
to translate to the NFL. I think he's a guy that if the right team drafts him, he'll be very successful.
If a bad team drafts him, he's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
suck.
I mean, like if he goes to like a Tennessee
Carolina,
or Carolina,
Tennessee, yeah.
Vegas, even like I mean,
Vegas.
That's like,
Yeah. I don't see Vegas picking him though.
No,
If they had their option, obviously, I think they'd go Shador
I
just
think they
because
really
of
want Shador, yeah.
the Antonio Pierce thing and Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Um,
So I mean, I do want to look ahead to some matches we got coming up next week for college football.
I like that. I was
Uh,
gonna do the same
Take a
thing.
look.
Thursday, crazy huge ACC game, Pitt versus Syracuse. Syracuse.
Are
Here
you
we go.
serious?
5-1?
go.
That's Thursday night, man.
Come
So
on. Pitt.
5:30 Mountain
I'm
Time.
riding with the Panthers.
What, dude?
It's gonna be a huge game
Waiting
there.
for Bub.
I want
Waiting for Bub Mean.
I
That
think
is-
it's in Pitt.
Pitt, Syracuse.
I mean, that's better. I think that's
6
better than
point
the Thursday
spread.
night football game we got coming up. Vikings Rams. That actually might be something.
That's gonna
That'd
be
be
a
awesome.
sneaky game.
That's
Where's
gonna
that game at?
It's in LA.
Give
I
me
mean,
the
that-
Rams.
That's
Yeah,
still
I mean,
Give
basically
me the Rams.
that's still basically a home game though. I mean, LA Rams don't have any fans. All right, then Friday, crazy
Oh
Mountain
my
West game
gosh,
coming up here.
Yeah.
Boise State,
Yes.
Here we
UNLV.
go.
I mean, there's several good
If
games.
you told me 295 points are scored in that game, I'd believe you.
Oh
That's
yeah,
in Vegas. UNLV.
and then I mean, honestly, these games don't have as much like implication on the top 25 or like conference champions, but they should still be pretty exciting. Louisville, Boston College, Rutgers, USC. Like
Ooh.
those ones, I still feel like we could see some chaos in those ones. But
Yeah,
UNLV,
definitely.
Boise State, that's the big game that has a lot of chaos. Hello, Mr. H Train. How's it going?
Sorry.
Boise State. Boise State. After UNLV, they play San Diego State too. That's going to be an interesting game. Nevada, San Jose State University, and then Wyoming, and then they finish it out with Oregon State. So that's going to be the last part. Boise State's record. They're probably going to finish with that one loss to Oregon in a tough game, only losing by 37-34 back in September. Boise State, though, dude. I mean, you're going to just throw them into that last 4 seeds in the at-large bid. That is a team I do not want to play. Say you're Miami or Clemson, you got to go to Boise State. Buddy.
Even on a neutral, I don't want to play Boise State on a neutral.
Which 5 conferences get the automatic bid? It's obviously SEC, Big 10, Big 12.
ACC definitely will.
ACC.
And
And
is
then
it still
they have the
Pac-12?
group of 5 conference. However, they lock those. Whoever wins that conference automatically goes in.
Isn't it only the top 4 big conferences?
Basically, and then your
So
group
then
of 5.
And then it's
The
the
Mountain
top
West
the
would
top
be-
seed from like the remaining other conferences.
Other conferences, and then the last 4 picks
I could easily
from
do
8 to
Boise.
12 are all at large. So it's going to be what the college football committee
Okay.
values within your conference, your strength of schedule.
There's
Win,
gonna be
loss.
a big controversy at the end of this
I-
year.
Oh
Because
yeah.
There's some teams playing some damn good football.
Football.
So
And
it's
all
it's
these
gonna-
teams, remember, we kind of already talked about it. All these teams play each other. All this is going to shake itself out for the course of the next month and a half. Where after conference play, if there's a team that's on the cusp, Clemson loses to Miami. Does Clemson get in with 2 losses and how their team's playing football? And Dabo Swinney, is somebody going to take him as an at-large bid over, say, I don't know, maybe an Army or Navy, who maybe one of those 2 teams upset Notre Dame?
They're still undefeated.
How do you keep out Army if they're undefeated after beating Navy, who's ranked, Notre Dame,
That's
who's
just
ranked?
unpatriotic if you do that.
How do you, if against Clemson, who might have 3 losses? I mean, that's going to be tough.
That's
So it's like those last 4 picks. Yeah, dude, it's going to be nuts. I think it's going to go to. I think this is only going to set up for. We already talked about it too, a Sweet 16 sort of, thing, because that just markets itself if you're the NCAA and college football playoff. Because I think they're trying to go away from the marketing of the NCAA because it stinks, and they just want to do like, oh no, this is just like the college football playoff.
They do.
This is its own thing. Like March Madness is its own separate thing from the NCAA altogether.
So at this point, this transfer portal, you're basically looking at professional sports with these guys. You're
Right.
paying them all this money in
Essentially, yeah.
NIL deals.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of these teams are playing a lot better. Because people that were lower string guy on a SEC school just figured, hey, I'll go to one of these smaller market teams now that it's a bigger tournament. And these guys are going to want to play even harder than the guys of the SEC school. And, you're competing for a job that you may never get when you're on those big schools, dude. You're like everyone on the team is so good at that point. It's like, it's so hard to compete for a starting job. You commit to Georgia, you could never play a snap in your 4 years. And you
It's like,
just
what?
be a
Do you
guy.
want to risk that? Yeah.
Do you want to risk that, or do you want to try and continue it outside of college? Because there are people's dream goal is to get to the NFL. They don't want to stop playing after college, even if they have to.
It's true.
All right. Some other big matchups that I just put eyes on. Obviously, we talked Notre Dame, Navy. That's huge. Oregon, Illinois. That's going to be a huge one.
Game.
Missouri, Alabama, and Bama. This is a must-win for Alabama.
Absolutely.
They cannot drop this if they want to even have a hope. I think if
That's
Bama
a
loses
tough
one
game.
more game, they cannot.
They won't be in.
They won't be
They
in the
don't be
playoff.
in the playoffs.
Yeah, so they have to win this. It is in Bama. That's good for them. UMass, I just noticed is they're playing a team
14-point
that,
Alabama favorites.
so they're playing Wagner that has a 0-0 record. So are they like a
Who?
look at the Wagner? It says they're 0-0 on the season. I don't even know how that's.
Mass and Wagner.
Yeah, That's just-
versus Wagner?
that's just a
That's
goofy
kind
one.
of weird. Yeah.
BYU got to go to Central Florida. I mean, look, the Knights there, they played a couple of teams tough.
Spreads
They,
too.
they gave Iowa State a scare last week, so
They really.
They did.
BYU gotta be careful. over there.
Illinois, Oregon.
I
Wow.
can't wait for that one. They should have saved the throwbacks for that
21
game.
point spread. Illinois is 21.5
Ooh,
point
that's-
underdog. 3 touchdown underdogs in Eugene. Go the
That's interesting.
Fighting Illini.
I don't think that it's going to be that big. Of a
I thought it was like going to be
Yeah.
like I made that number when I saw it last week.
9-10 maybe.
You're right on it. I had 10.5 where I'm like, Oregon could win by 13, and I wouldn't be shocked. And Illinois could take this game into overtime, and I wouldn't
Right.
be shocked.
I could see this easily being like a
You know
52-49
what I mean?
ball game.
Oregon's
The
defense is not
total
like
is
that.
54.5. I almost bet the over already. I have not touched this game. Followed Jimmy Covers until the final whistle on TikTok, where we give out all the best bets.
Was
But
another huge SEC game.
yeah,
Vandy hosting the Longhorns.
18-point
There we go.
underdogs.
Upset
Vanderbilt.
Masters. Just cracked into the top 25. They didn't look great last week against Ball State.
I think Texas can take their frustrations out on Vanderbilt on this one.
Yeah,
I
that
do
could-
think Vanderbilt covers the 18. If Texas wins by 2 touchdowns, I wouldn't be shocked.
All right,
Yeah.
that makes sense there. But just something to keep
FSU,
your-
Miami.
something to keep
Rivalry
your eye on.
games are always insane.
Even though
Miami,
FSU's
even
garbage,
though FSU's
Yeah,
garbage,
it's one
Miami's been
six.
playing some close games. I mean, they're not really
ever
blowing
since they got-
anybody out.
Ever since they got Ungalev,
Oh, yeah.
however you say it.
Yeah, Uyangale.
Ungalev.
Yeah.
Ever since they got him out, they haven't
Yeah.
been as bad. I think they at least looked a little more competent on offense.
Definitely.
Hasn't
They've been running the
translated
ball a
into
lot
wins.
more with Etienne's brother.
Yeah. So
Or no, he plays at Georgia. I'm sorry.
he goes to Georgia, but whoever the
Louisville,
running back is.
they only won by 7 against Louisville. They were in a dogfight against Cal, only winning by 1. We're talking about Miami. Virginia Tech, at home against Virginia Tech, and you only win by 4.
They needed a game winner. to beat Virginia.
Exactly. So, I don't know, man. Miami, Florida State, I know that's a rivalry game. Miami's been playing some tough games. 21-point underdogs are the FSU Seminoles going on the road to Miami.
this does feel
I
like
don't
a
know if
huge
it's
trap
20,
game for
huge
Miami.
trap game for Miami, dude.
This could
Who do
be
they
the-
play after Miami? Or after Florida State, they play Duke, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, Syracuse. So
Duke ain't bad this
Duke
year.
ain't bad. That's gonna be a tough
Either
one.
is
too.
Syracuse.
Georgia Tech is a game that Miami could lose.
for sure.
Georgia Tech plays some tough defense. That game is in Georgia Tech.
We got to
That'll
go.
be tough.
Excuse me. Couple of in-state rivalries going on this weekend.
Yeah.
Michigan State, Michigan, and then KSU, Kansas.
Okay.
Kansas hasn't been that good this season, but again, it's a rivalry game.
They have a big confidence win last week too.
Yeah,
So sitting at the
a
19.
lot can happen there. Obviously, we touched a little A&M, LSU and Texas A&M going on this weekend.
Yeah, that's
So-
probably going to be the biggest SEC
That's-
big battle game. That's like everybody needs to watch.
That's gonna be
LSU,
huge.
Texas A&M. I think will be the game. 7:30, so it'll be a night game. That game's going to be
Oh, yeah.
the prime time.
That's
Primetime
probably
game on
college
ABC.
game day, right?
College game day will be
For
there.
sure.
That's
And
gotta
A&M. Huge ACC matchup. SMU and Duke.
Ooh.
The Blue
Yeah.
Devils, they're hosting that one. Both teams
SMU,
6-1. SMU, they're the 22nd ranked team in the nation.
I could
Two.
sneak Duke up in the top 25.
So yeah, that's
You're not wrong, caveman. I could
big.
throw a monkey wrench in all those teams in the ACC
yeah.
for sure.
Some sneaky teams are in the ACC coming out of nowhere. Penn State got to challenge it. Got to go on the road to a 5-2 Wisconsin team.
Ooh,
That's a 5:30
Yeah.
game. Going to be featured on NBC.
6.5-point spread in favor of Penn State on the road.
But
in
Wisconsin, man, they haven't been bad this year. They're
I think they have 3 losses to all good
They're-
teams.
they've got
They
2
lost to
losses.
They lost to USC. They lost to Alabama. Yeah, they have 2 losses.
So
They beat Northwestern, beat Rutgers,
USC,
beat
that's a
Purdue,
team that nearly beat
beat San
beat
Diego.
Penn State too.
They
So
almost beat LSU.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good game. Yeah,
USC's just got some bad
They-
breaks, and then
yeah,
they blew. Then
yeah.
they blew that lead to Maryland
that was
last,
tough. That was
last week.
terrible,
They
dude.
lost.
They
That was terrible.
they could still be in the top 25.
Lincoln
if they
Riley,
just-
what are we doing, dude? Run the freaking football.
Yeah. And then I think the last matchup I'm keeping an eye on, 2 5-2 teams, Cincinnati and Colorado. Both two
Nice.
teams that are
Okay.
still technically alive. They're in that Big 12 chase.
They are.
I mean, yeah, the Big 12, nobody's for sure a shoe in there either.
Unless you're BYU. BYU kind of has it locked down.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but
Because they beat Kansas State, so they're definitely
I mean, unless they drop one.
After Cincinnati, they play tough Texas Tech University, Utah, Kansas, and end the season with Oklahoma State. So we'll see. That's going to be another thing that's going to shake itself out in the Big 12.
Some prime
Playing
time
some
matchups
teams.
tomorrow.
Yeah, Texas Tech and Kansas State are all ahead of Colorado. Yeah, Cincinnati, Texas Tech, Kansas State, Iowa State, BYU, all ahead of Colorado in the Big 12.
They were talking about it during the Colorado game where there's still a way for them to climb up
There is if everybody loses 3 games.
They just need some. They need some pandemonium.
They need carnage, and that always happens at the
happen,
end of the
yeah.
year with the Big 12 too. Every year, there's always fans storming the field because somebody got upset.
And
Exactly.
CU does have a Texas Tech matchup later this year too.
That's
So they can
one of the
shake it up
undefeated
there.
teams up at the top so
Yeah.
far still, so they could take them out.
It's going to be all
Love it.
interesting.
I cannot wait.
Till the
I mean,
final
it's just-
whistle.
It's going to get more and more.
MB
crazy.
Radio is going to have all of the college football breakdowns for you.
You thought you saw
Every Monday.
upsets earlier this season. I mean, I don't know if anything tops the Vanderbilt upset,
No, yeah.
but you're gonna see some more stuff shake up. We got some stuff tomorrow going on. Some smaller schools. The second year FBS school, Sam Houston State's going into
Ooh, nice.
Florida International to play in Pitbull Stadium. Don't know why they named their stadium after the pop star Pitbull, but way to go, Florida International.
All right, there you go.
Look,
And
caveman off the top rope, dude. I love it.
UTEP is going to Louisiana Tech. UTEP won their first game last year. They won their first game since last season. So
Wow.
they went 357 days without
That's a-
winning a football game until last week.
Football.
UTEP is on fire.
We're going to have a Tuesday till the final whistle football frenzy the way that this new
Yeah.
season is shaking out. When's the NFL going to play a Tuesday game? We don't know. We will find out until the final whistle on NBA Radio. Stay tuned and we'll be right back with you with much, much more and top plays coming up until the final whistle on NBA Radio.
Oh, yeah, are we? Yeah, we're still going golfing tomorrow.
What?
We're still going golfing tomorrow.
I'm not sure.
As you want. Gonna ask H Train when he gets back with the subs.
Oh, is that where you went?
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you guys here Friday?
I was.
I
I couldn't.
thought I was
man.
gonna be, and then I got scheduled to work this basketball tournament in
Oh,
Windsor.
cool.
So
What'd you do?
I was on a camera guy.
Fuck yeah, dude. Nice.
It was pretty crazy. It's JUCO. And that basketball season's getting into the swing of it. There was like, they had
Yeah, we got NBA sites tomorrow.
recruiter. There
First
was
game, right?
recruiters for all these D1
Yeah.
schools. There was there's an Oregon guy, Nebraska, Washington, like in Toledo, Virginia.
Oh, wow.
It was a pretty big JUCO tournament.
You're a working camera, brother?
Mhm.
Nice for who?
I was trying to talk to some of the guys. It was like, you could tell they were recruiters, like guy like from 30s to 50s in
Yeah.
just a polo shirt branded by the team
Yeah.
and like slacks. Anytime a good play happened, they were like writing something down or they just made a phone call.
Yeah.
Like they were all watching like the same guy for every team probably
Oh,
every
man.
game.
Yeah.
But some big schools in there. There was a Pratt JUCO team was playing. Like a bunch of Christian schools. So you know you got guys that can play some ball at these.
And they were paying?
schools.
They were paying? Fuck yeah, dude. Good shit.
That was $25 a game.
Not
for
bad.
that one. So, not bad. Doing 10
Free money.
games. Yeah.
Free
And just
money.
watching basketball. So.
Yeah, you're watching basketball and you're moving a camera or something? You're just getting like the all 10 when they're all like half court to half court, basically.
Yeah, just following the ball.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything too fancy.
Yeah.
The drive to Windsor was kind of a pain, but like,
Was that Windsor, freaking Wyoming?
that's way up north, like by Fort Collins. So it's
Oh, yeah.
like an hour, but not too bad.
I did Columbine versus Ralston Valley on Friday. Fucking Columbine came back down 15 and like took the lead, and then Ralston Valley went back down like at the beginning of the fourth quarter, scored a touchdown, and they went up 3. And Columbine, or to go up, they scored to go up another touchdown, and then with the clock running down or whatever, they had to punt. They got the ball back off of bad interception. Columbine never throws picks. They threw a pick. Ralston Valley had the ball again. They turned it over on downs, like it only ran like 20 seconds off the clock. It could have ran down to like no time left. They didn't. They throw the ball instead. Columbine gets the ball back. They drive down in like a minute and 15 seconds, score a touchdown. They go for 2.
Damn.
They go for 2. Didn't get the 2-point conversion. They went for the gusto right there.
What are we doing when we come back?
Top place.
Top place. All right. And then do we want to
We still got some time.
talk a little fantasy after top place?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Let's recap of the fantasy week and then
Top-
talk about what's going on Monday night.
Yep.
Basically.
Let's get his headset back on. Look at orange.
You are looking live at Military Broadcast Radio till the final whistle on Monday Football Frenzy. We've broken down some NFL Week 7 matchups. We did college football this last weekend, all the upsets, the futures, the schedules, the implications of it all going into the end of the college football season. We're going to get into some top plays, some news and notes from those top plays, what we saw, what we liked, and then we're going to get into some fantasy football breakdowns for Monday Night Football. Here with you till the final whistle on MBR. And boys, it was action-packed all over the field. Left, right, and center. We're going to start off with some college football since we touched on it. Let's start. We talked about Army Navy. Army Navy, man. Army, just a tough football team. We got Army football. Let's go. Army
Love it.
running roughshot over the 38 points for a team that runs a triple option. That's a lot of 45.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points.
That was only one of 7 completions that Bryson Daly had, and
When they pass it, dude.
doesn't matter. He only needs. He didn't need to really pass it that much because you run for 171 yards and 5 touchdowns out that triple option. Eastern Carolina, the quarterback's killing you with his legs.
Yeah.
Maybe stay home for like one of these option plays. Like stop letting this guy take it.
Yeah. No, can't have it. Don't want to do it. Miami, we touched on Miami. I like Miami a lot. Been betting on them a lot. Perfect betting spread. If you bet on them in the first half, ATM machine. It's free money. Minus 110 odds. You're getting a low number because all these bookmakers think these games are going to be close in the first half when sometimes they're really not. Georgia covered the first half spread for me. No problem. Only getting 1.5 point minus. They were leading at halftime by 2 touchdowns. So, but Miami running back goes absolutely beast mode. Shades of Marshawn Lynch in college. That was nice.
Yeah.
That was just
Lower
Truck stick.
shoulder.
truck stick.
That was a huge touchdown too. That put them up by 2 scores late in the game. Because Louisville went down and scored. And within one. But there was just not enough time
left. Yeah.
So massive score right there. And then I love that. It's one thing to truck a guy, but then the truck a guy, then get back going like full speed, and then just carry a defender into the end zone.
Yeah.
It's like, hop on for a ride, little guy. Let's go.
I like it. USC losing a couple games here, had a great play, one of the top plays of the week. Let's check it out.
Oh my god.
College football produces some of the
Most-
craziest catches you'll ever see.
Incredible
Yeah.
catches.
Guys you're probably never going to hear from ever again. They're
Dude,
going to be selling car insurance next month.
I'm so glad that Eric Collins also calls college football.
Yeah.
Because, man, that
Yeah, yeah.
I always try to catch some of his games. The dude's just got such great energy.
Yeah.
That was an incredible catch. I mean,
Great play by USC.
anybody would be freaking out after that. Jacoby Lane.
He was falling back. He's not even really on his feet right there making that catch.
Some underrated
Turning out at
hands
the
right
last
there.
second. What a grab.
Indiana
What do we got next?
running a rough shot over Nebraska.
Kick
This
them up.
was one of the reasons why.
I mean, why would you even try to catch that? That was almost a flag.
Yeah.
He almost kicked it out of bounds.
Out of
Negative
bounds.
football IQ.
And you walk out with the ball at the 1 yard.
Would have
That's
been
a
a
le-
flag.
that's
on
a
He
the
had-
record.
moment.
He has to straddle the line and catch the ball.
Bro, toe tap that. Yeah.
If you straddle the line and you catch the ball and you're out of bounds, you get the ball at the 40. You cannot catch the ball and then
walk
pin
out.
yourself at the 1 yard line with absolutely no offense to speak of that day. Just don't even. What are we even catching it for?
I wonder if they knew, like, hey, like if that kid back there was like a freshman or something. And they're like, hey, like this guy is like a young player. Like, let's try to like kick the ball out the one and see if like we can't trick him into like.
I mean, it was kind of a coffin. They kicked it over in that corner for a reason.
Yeah.
What do we got going on there?
That is, I think it's
Is that-
like notifications coming from one of these computers. I can like faintly hear that sound.
Yeah, I'm like, what is happening right now on NB Radio?
So, I don't
The
know.
wheels
That
are falling off, Stokely. This is your ship you're driving here, buddy.
might have been intentional
Shut
there
up,
though by the
Sid.
kicker. I like it. Yeah. Well, hey, certainly a learning moment for that young man.
Well, I watched this game. This was the BYU finish. It was a great finish. Absolutely awesome game against Oklahoma State. We bet Oklahoma State against the spread. That cash for us. BYU does win, and they have a firm control in the Big 12. Let's check out why.
Bad tackle.
35-31. You need a touchdown. Prevent defense. What are we doing? That stadium's rocking too. That stadium was buzzing, boys.
Oh yeah.
Bad
You know,
tackle
I mean,
right
what
there.
are we doing? You're
Look,
playing
if
a
you're gonna-
shell defense when you know that they're going for the end zone,
Yeah, I don't know.
and you let them throw it underneath and take a little slant route,
Look, if you're gonna
35 yards for a touchdown.
you're gonna let them like do the dump off, pitch and catch. You guys gotta make
You
sure
gotta rally.
tackle.
You gotta rally.
Sure up.
You can't have two safeties back there just lollygagging. Like, you don't even come down. Like, you just stand at the goal line, wait for him to come to you. Like, they didn't attack the football at any point of that
That's
series.
probably why Oklahoma
And
is
probably,
no longer ranked.
you're
Yeah.
probably not wrong.
BYU
Man, one guy
taking
tried to
advantage
go
of
for the
that.
tackle, and he missed it. He
Yeah.
did not wrap up the legs. I mean, if you just hit the guy and stop him for a second, like he goes down. Like they probably burn time off just trying to keep him on his feet and bring him down. Because if you get four guys, that dude's huge. The guy that got the ball, that's a big tight end guy
Tight end,
yeah.
on the outside.
Yeah.
You get 3 or 4 people wrapped up on him and keep his legs moving and just churn the clock out. You got him there.
Yeah.
All you got to do is get one body on him.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
looking like the Saints.
I don't know.
defense.
Maybe
Come on now.
send more than a 3-man pressure, in clutch time. You're playing for nothing. What do you like these coaches that play conservative in college football for me? I'm like, dude, what are you playing for? Send the freaking house. It doesn't matter. It literally does not matter for Oklahoma State at this point. So if you want to win,
Playoffs are gone,
you're here to upset BYU. What are you
Yeah.
playing conservative for? What are you playing 2 shell quarters?
They're not the better team.
You're not the better team.
They're not.
You have the lead, 35-31. Even if you rally to the football and you stop them, they have to call timeout. They got to kick a field. You're at least playing for overtime. You can't let them just walk into it for a touchdown with no pressure. You know, maybe if you send a 5-man blitz, that ball, you know, because it was a timing route. So it's like, you know, you're on that, like you said, like a skinny post. Buddy, why don't you try to throw off the timing and rhythm of that play if you know what they're trying to do? Absolutely awful defense from Oklahoma State. Big 12 defense has been bad for a long time. This is
really has.
one of the many reasons why. I love the coded messaging from Caveman here. UCLA quarterback was hiding something. What is he hiding? Let's watch it until the final whistle on MB Radio.
He's hiding the wheels.
Woof!
He was hiding the wheels.
Woof! Hiding the wheels.
Buddy was on his horse there.
Dude, who said white kids can't play running back at quarterback
That's
positions?
right. That's right.
Who said white kids can't play running back at quarterback positions?
UCLA.
What a move there.
That was a great move, dude.
I mean,
That guy could take
Full
the edge.
speed, too. Like, he didn't
Yeah.
slow down and do the move. He ran at that kid full speed and did it.
this guy, he's kind of your like prototype pocket
I
passer.
like
He's not,
Yeah.
not really known for his scrambling all too much.
And we are pro big hits here on NB Radio. Yeah,
Absolutely.
we're pro big hits until the final
I
whistle.
think we all grew up watching.
love-
You got jacked up.
You got jacked up. You know, we're big fans of big hits. Let's check out this big hit.
Oh, this one is fucking wild. Right in the
Yeah.
chest.
I put this one in the folder, I think. Yeah, that was a great hit.
Right
Hell,
in the chest.
And just sticks the guy. That's how I grew up playing football, man. You know, okay, I won't hit you in the head. I'm going to hit you where it hurts actually more. You know, when you get smoked, like, you just don't feel it. You know what I mean? Like, I've been knocked out on the field when I played sophomore football. I didn't even know. I hated getting tackled around the stomach area because then you actually get the pads on
Knocks
skin.
the wind out of you.
Yeah.
It sucks.
an
There's a
unpadded
little
area right
scrape there where the shoulder pad comes across your skin. Feels like road rash. You just grab it the whole game. You're thinking about it. You know, when I got knocked out, I just smelled so. Hey, what's up? Like, give me a cheeseburger. You know what I mean? I'm fine. Like, I'm 17-year-old kid or whatever. You know, like, I hated getting tackled like from the stomach below. Hated it, dude. Hated it.
It's a lot more effective than you think because I played it up until like I was in high school and I was a small kid. Like I was
Yeah,
like pretty much the smallest guy on the field.
same here.
But I was a very sure tackler because I would always go like for the midsection and the legs. Like so, I'm always hitting you right here in the stomach. So I hit you there, and then I'm putting my arms around you, and even if you don't go down from that hit,
Someone's
I
coming.
grab on and then I just fall down around your legs, and so now your legs are constricted.
Someone's coming. That's just form tackling
yeah.
right there.
Yeah,
I didn't have a ton of solo tackles, but very rarely did I miss one because you just
Get your stats for that. That counts as a tackle.
does count as tackle.
Counts as a tackle. We got to chalk it up in the win column. And
Yeah.
we don't count losses here.
No, we do not. We do not.
You just dye our hair.
Yeah.
That's how we count our losses.
Follow through with a bet and you still win because you get there's no, like Deion Sanders said a long time ago, there's no such thing as bad publicity, caveman.
That's right.
I'm
That's
sorry,
right. I'll be Orange Man for a little bit. I'll make
Now,
that TikTok.
Agent
right?
Orange over here.
This is an interesting top play because you very rarely see one of these injuries where guys just go down out of nowhere. Everybody's seen it. Whether you think you've seen it or not, it happens in every game where a guy just goes down. Very rarely do you see this penalized. I was shocked to see this too. When I did see this play, I watched this live and I was like, I was like on the couch, like, oh wow, I can't believe they actually.
Yeah, they
you
do
know.
something.
So let's check out this play because this is very interesting. Then we can talk about this after because there's probably going to be some implications from this. If this happens in a big time SEC championship game or college football playoff game, going to be interesting to see how the coaches and the teams respond. Let's check this out. Yeah.
So the big thing to note there, he wasn't penalized for faking the injury. It's because he went off the field and then came
Back
in.
on. Yeah, it was a
can't
little
do that.
substitution.
But
But that injury thing was kind of where he just goes down.
Right.
You know,
And
I
you're like,
don't
I'm
know.
not like guys, come on, like
I don't know.
I know there's not a rule against it, but like, can we have like some respect for ourselves and not
What's up,
not
coach?
like
What's
just
up,
make it
coach?
so
Get injured? Okay.
so blatant.
Tennessee Volunteers upset Alabama, 4-point home underdogs.
Dude, to
Jimmy
me, that
covers
wasn't-
until the final whistle on TikTok.
To me,
Gave
that
out the
wasn't
play.
even really an upset. I think Tennessee
4-point home underdogs. That's a pretty big upset.
Well, I know like the line had them as underdogs, but to me, Tennessee's just as good as Alabama.
I think so. Yeah,
they have
that's a good
just
point.
as good.
That's a good point.
So I'm like, I know they were out. They were like Vegas had them as the underdogs, but I was like, this is an evenly matched team on paper, and I was not at all surprised that Tennessee won it. Not at all.
No.
I was counting on them too.
I was kind of shocked to see Tennessee win outright. I can't lie. I kind of thought Alabama would win, and I kind of said this on social. I kind of thought Alabama would win by a field goal on one of those games that, like, Tennessee takes the lead. Alabama has enough time off for like a final drive to kick a game-winning 1-point field goal or something like that. You know,
I was pretty sure Tennessee was going to win it outright because Bama's looked bad these past 2 weeks.
Bama's defense has looked pretty good though, and I thought that they
Yeah, well, I mean, they gave up 40 to Vanderbilt, and then
there's outliers. I don't know,
Yeah.
like
nearly
You know.
blew a lead to South Carolina.
all those players. I mean, that's a program up there too.
Yeah.
And like Dan Lanning, that's a program there, man. And like you just can't.
We're
Or,
talking about Oregon now, buddy.
Who's the coach? He came from Oregon. Who's the coach there? No, who's that idiot? Washington. DeBoer, yeah, Kalen DeBoer. I don't know, man. I think Alabama still has a top program for sure. They definitely dropped a couple games, but it's like, man, dude, like they played so good. And I did think Alabama was going to win that game. I took Tennessee on the point spread.
Just
I wish I would have bet him on the
interesting
money line, but I didn't.
Bama note, actually. So this is the first time since 2007 that they're entering November with multiple losses. The last time that happened, it was Nick Saban's
Like
first
first
year.
season
So,
coaching there.
is this a sign of what's to come with Kalen DeBoer? Is
We'll see.
No,
is
dude, they
history
got, like,
repeating itself?
Did you see how many 5-star kids have already committed to
Yeah.
Alabama next season? Stupid recruiting.
You get a close up on the orange hair. Here, let me stand up.
Yeah. Oh, people want to see it. Get them close to the camera there.
Yeah, that looks. Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah.
better in the back.
Oh,
It's
so-
better if
Caveman,
there's more
a
in
lot
the
of
back
hair.
than there is.
A lot of hair.
If it's all in the back, then that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
It
you
looks
go.
it looks much more orange.
It's
from
orange.
behind.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is.
That's a lot of hair. We probably need about 25 more cans of
I
Well,
know,
of
man.
course, the cheap ass dollar store hairspray.
dollar store.
One of
hairspray.
them's broken, so
Yeah.
we didn't
We
the
didn't even
full
get a
effect.
full bottle.
Yeah, 2 full bottles there. He's just got a lot of hair, and it's very, very dark in general. So, you know, you need probably a whole like another 4 cans to really get it bright orange. But it's still looking pretty good here.
I would have taken the whole stock from that Spirit Halloween last night. I went in there and then I was looking through pretty much every bottle was like faulty because it is like the very cheap stuff.
Oh, you
But-
with the Spirit Halloween. There
Yeah,
it is.
That's right. That was like the only place I could find it. I looked in Walmart for like 10 or so minutes, and their like hairs and Halloween section, they didn't have anything that was like washable. I was like, well, Spirit Halloween it is. We got to take the high road.
There you go. All right, Jimmy. What's our next stop?
Next one, we love defensive stops and we
Yes, we
love
do.
upsets. Maryland upsets USC on a defensive stand. Absolutely electric. Let's check it out.
Great call from Eric Collins.
It's Terps.
And they win by 1 on that defensive stand in a game with absolutely no defense. 29-28. Going the
Sometimes
over on the total
the best time for defense to show up is at the very
end, baby.
Doesn't
It
matter if you
always
play-
happens too that way. It's
You always
wild.
play awful defense. You're right. These high scoring games, it's terrible defense until the very final drive, and then
The game tightens up. You know, those
Somebody
buttholes
makes a
start
play.
puckering. Utah State, shout out the Fighting Jordan Loves. Utah State, insane interception. Do like this pick. Let's check it out. Oh, what a snag.
oh,
God.
dude. Are
Now
we
we're-
sure that guy's not the receiver? I mean, the way he turned
Ran.
around, trapped the ball.
I might replay that. Watch this again. I'm gonna watch this again, boys. Is this a touchback or is he down at the 1 yard line?
Good question.
Let's see.
High scoring game also, interceptions at the end of the game. What were we just talking about? Tough
Yeah.
defense at the end when a game is high scoring, 65 points being scored in that game. This interception, let us know. Is he down at the 1 or is this a touchback, you think?
I don't know if the ball crossed. Well, you can see here. I think he's down at the 1. The ball didn't really cross.
Does look like he's down at the 1 there.
The ball didn't really cross the plane.
I think that knee hit down as he was dropping.
And the elbow.
Yeah,
1 yard
I don't
line.
know. It's like,
Also, thanks, Neil. Love the new dude. Appreciate you.
yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely down at the 1.
I think at the 1. The
1
he
yard line.
tucked it. He tucked it right
He
there.
tucked it, but like I think when I don't know, man. I kind of want to give that kid the touchback on that. That's just I don't want to penalize the defense for making a good play when that's kind of like by the time he really,
It's an
you know,
NFL touchback.
it's an
'Cause he's
NFL
not
touchback
down.
because he's not down.
Yeah.
You know, but
Collar,
yeah.
I mean, the second you hit the ground, that's it.
And that's like, you know, and I'm like, by the time he really had, like, from the slow-mo angle on that backside when you saw him, it's like, yeah, the elbow hit, but, like, by the time, like, his body came down, he was in the end zone. I don't know, man.
I'm sure there was a
I don't want to
lot of
penalize the
that one.
kid. Yeah, I bet there probably was. Good pick by that kid, though.
Oh,
And I'm not
Definitely
even
high
sure
level
what the actual
interception.
call was. They may have just called it a touchback.
They probably did.
Yeah. If
I don't know, but college is kind of crazy. I mean, these phantom refs, dude, there's some awful officiating in college football. We think it's bad in the NFL. They're like, oh, we can get anybody in here. No, you can't. College football officials, absolutely garbage. I mean, the Texas-Georgia incident is just incident enough to let you know these officials don't know what they're doing either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on to some NFL highlights of the week. Saquon Barkley. Did anybody doubt that Saquon was going to go back up to MetLife against his old Giants team and just run roughshod over that defense?
They booed him too.
They did boo him, and that's like, to me, bro. Like, you're just booing your organization. That's a
Yeah.
failure of work.
Yeah.
You had an elite player that didn't, get his feet going really because of injuries and whatnot, but because of your bad team.
Look, Giants, you had two choices. You could have paid Saquon Barkley and moved on from Daniel Jones, or paid Daniel Jones and move on from Saquon Barkley.
Bingo.
That's what you guys chose to do.
Right.
You chose to move on from Saquon, and now he scored a touchdown in your home stadium more recently than Daniel freaking Jones had.
Oh, that's brutal.
Last
It's been almost
time-
2 years since Daniel Jones has scored a touchdown in MetLife Stadium. Hey,
sent
I
us
know
a
he
funny
was hurt.
stat.
He was hurt for a lot of the last season, but I mean, it's week 7, week 8 now.
How do you not?
Yeah.
When are we gonna get it?
Touchdown
Like,
at home?
score a TD at home.
Score a team.
Okay,
Score one.
he does have one touchdown at MetLife Stadium this year. It was just to the wrong team.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
And Andrew Van Ginkel
Andrew Van Ginkel pick seven.
had a receiving touchdown for Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Well,
Saquon Barkley- Huge truck stick, huge play. I mean, ran all over the New York Giants.
Oh,
He
just-
could have had multiple touchdowns if it wasn't for Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts greed.
You know, but let's check out this play by Saquon Barkley. Absolutely stud. Oof. Oof. That's a Chevy S10 coming right in your kitchen, dude. and just plowing over your defensive back. You're in a no-win situation. When you're that defensive back, you just got to eat that and just be like, yep, take my L, go to the sideline. Hey, boys, you got me. What can you do?
At
You
least
can't do
try
much.
to tackle them.
Right now, the Giants, they could have Saquon, Malik Neighbors, it might be Drew Lock throwing them the football, but at least Drew Lock's got an arm. He's a
That's
gunslinger.
something.
It'd at least be some entertainment value.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, Daniel Jones, it's like we've already talked. He can't throw the ball down the field.
It's the same crappy release.
Why couldn't the New York Giants have Malik Willis as their starting quarterback?
Why can't the Titans have him as their starting quarterback?
I mean, you move on from Daniel Jones, you got to look the veteran market because say with that ninth, because they were picking ninth in the draft where they got Neighbors, right? It was ninth pick overall.
Yeah.
Do you move up? Probably. I mean, if you're the Giants, they probably do, but I never do. I would rather move back in the draft, honestly, than trade up in the draft. You just get more bang for your buck that way, and finding the same exact player, easily replaceable from the first round to the fifth round. Really not a significant drop off in talent. It just matters what team you go to. And in the fifth round, I don't know, man. You can find a guy that can come in and be serviceable for you. Better than Daniel freaking Jones is.
Way better.
You know what I mean? So, like, there's not like a huge talent discrepancy from the fifth round of the NFL draft as a rookie to Daniel Jones. So it's like that should have been an easy decision. I can't believe they showed that
Even if you don't get
on the NFL Hard Knocks of the Giants in the offseason Hard Knocks. They showed all of that with the owner. I don't know if you guys watched it or not. I watched every episode. I do these Hard Knock breakdowns because I love Hard Knocks. Dude, the freaking owner came into the GM's office and he said, if we lose Saquon, I'm going to have a tough time dealing. Those TikToks that have been out there. But that whole everybody's seen the clip on the internet. That conversation was more, he said, what are we doing with Daniel Jones? He's like, well, do you want to pay, we pay Daniel Jones. We got to see what he has, this, that, or whatever. And he's like, well, I don't think you pay Daniel Jones and then move on from his best asset. That's what the owner said. And I'm like, that's a great point. And they moved on from him still.
They paid Daniel
Guys
Jones
still went against
after one successful season.
And I don't even think that season was successful.
No.
They got lucky
No.
to make the freaking playoffs anyway.
They got extremely lucky.
Right? It wasn't like they looked dominant. They just were finding ways to win close games.
Yeah.
More so on
And the
defense
Eagles and the Cowboys shit down their leg at the end of the year in that division. And they only went to a wild card. They didn't even win the division.
Eagles and Cowboys pulled the Eagles and Cowboys.
Well, no,
And
the Eagles.
Giants
That was the
were
year the Eagles
in.
went to the Super
Went to the
Bowl.
Super Bowl.
But the Giants, they stuck in there, and what was a good division. You beat the Vikings, who
I
were
think the Cowboys
historic.
had 5 wins that year. Dak got injured, I think.
So you kind of sneak in with the injury there. You beat the Vikings, who were historic playoff chokers, and then you face the Eagles in
And
round 2, and then they
Mopped
smacked
you.
you. That game
Smacked
wasn't ever close.
Ever close.
And it's like,
There's
all right, well,
zero chance.
this really just proved that you're a team that's going to beat bad or average teams. You can do that.
Yeah.
But
It's
the
like the
second you
Mac
get to a
Jones
you're not a real
wild card.
contender.
Right.
You don't have a team to go up against
Yeah.
real contenders, and that was
No.
painfully obvious.
It's like the Mac Jones
And they decided
first
to just-
playoff run. They went to the wild card.
Yeah,
They won
caveman.
10 games with them. That did not work out. That
No.
ship has sailed.
Long time ago. With
Yeah.
Bill Belichick.
It's over in Duval County.
So I would even just take, even if it was just Drew Lock or Tommy DeVito, who, with the way the Giants defense plays, I mean, you have probably the best defensive line in the league with Dexter Lawrence,
Right.
Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, really solid secondary,
solid
quarterback
secondary.
core.
Solid secondary.
If you had Saquon Barkley there, you could probably run the ball, and you invest in your O line. You could probably run the ball really well, and then you got Malik Neighbors to throw the football to. As long as you have just a decent quarterback back there that's just going to be a game manager, you can at least be entertaining and fun to watch for your fans.
14 of 21, 99 yards and nothing.
Yeah, and then instead you're paying Daniel Jones $160 million to get sacked 9 times a game because the offensive line can't help them, and the run game is very inconsistent.
That is a lot of money for how bad that player is, but in
Yeah.
terms of quarterback contracts, kind of a team-friendly deal. They can move on from him now and nothing really hurt them long-term going forward with any part of their team. It's just you made the wrong decision about what player you keep and what player you ship off. You can lose Daniel Jones and be just fine. You can't lose a player like Saquon Barkley, if he is healthy, with now an offensive line that is decent.
Yeah, he could actually get out of the backfield.
Maybe Saquon
Crazy.
would be able to flourish with an actual football team around him instead of relying on nothing and hoping Saquon Barkley just goes off every week and wins you a football game in New York. That clearly didn't work. But the decision to move, like how that decision and decision-making process happened, absolutely insane to me. And that's why teams, like, there's teams that are bad because their team is bad, and then there's teams that are bad because their organization is bad. New York Giants, a bad team because their organization does not give the players an opportunity to be successful at all.
Ever since Eli left, I mean, Eli really.
Tom Coughlin,
Yeah.
you know,
Give those
under
guys
Bill
credit.
Parcells,
They
there's a
elevated
system
what was a really
there.
bad
you know.
organization. They figured something out.
I don't want to hear no Mario Manningham disrespect HG because
Oh,
Mario
dude,
Manningham
Mario Manningham
won
was
me
nice.
some freaking money, buddy.
He was
All right.
nice. All right.
Mario Manningham won your boy Jimmy Covers. So
And those
No,
Victor
good
Cruz
old
era.
Victor
too.
Cruz.
Come on now.
yeah,
Love
Yeah,
that.
they had a
Jimmy
three-headed
shot.
rushing monster with Brandon Jacobs, and I forgot who the other two little.
Was it
quick back.
Ahmad Bradshaw there?
Ahmad Bradshaw,
Yeah.
good memory. Thank you. I've done a lot of alcohol and some vitamins in between there. But I know they had Brandon Jacobs. It was a load. They called it Earth, Wind, and Fire
Yeah.
with that three-headed running attack. And Eli Manning just got to drop back in play action and just slice and dice defenses, dude. That was awesome to watch. Beat the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers in 2007 against Brett Favre, and then 2012 against Aaron Rodgers to go to both Super Bowls to beat, drumroll please, Tom Brady.
Beat him
No big
twice. You can't say
Let's-
you didn't have good teams over there as a Giant.
deal. Dude, their defense is
They're-
loaded. Justin Tuck. They always
Yeah.
had,
Jason Pierre-Paul
JPP.
going messing up stuff in the interior of the D
Yeah.
line.
Webster was one of their defensive backs who was a
We gotta
demon at
just-
that time.
The NFC East, that was just Brady's kryptonite in the Super Bowl.
That's it.
So,
To
I
the
mean,
Philadelphia
right now,
Eagles, yeah.
Philly.
we got to try to make sure either the Falcons or the Bucks make it to the Super Bowl this year because so far Mahomes' only Super Bowl loss to an NFC South team. So
That's right.
It's the
Oh,
NFC
look at
South.
that. Look at that.
Mahomes is kryptonite.
Look at
Come
that.
on, Spencer
Let's see.
Rattler.
We love punter and big hits, but I love the fact that we got a punter highlight. We got a 96-yard
Shout out our
punt
boy
in here.
Chicken Little.
Shout out Chicken
Others
Little.
are people too.
Punters, we are for the brand over here on
Right.
MBR.
I heard he's going to try out to be a kicker in Arizona State.
I like it.
I mean,
Oh yeah, they need it.
They need it.
They
The
need it.
coaches
I-
pissed.
Let's go Chicken Little, dude. I never met you, but shout out. You get the free shout out in the segment. Parker Washington, 96-yard punt. Let's watch it together.
Oh, this is a return.
This is a return.
Oh, it's a
touchdown.
return. Oh. Oh, it's freaking.
Gone.
Jimmy Covers did not cover. I did not cover that well. It was a punt return. I thought the coded messaging up here, I thought it was a 96-yard punt in total, which would have been insane. It is a punt return.
Which is still, I mean, you know, his special teams coordinator watching him field that ball inside the 5 was going, no.
No. Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Let's go. I mean,
Yeah.
that's you're breaking like the number one rule. If it's gonna land inside the 5, let it bounce.
And the Green Bay Packers this week, dude, we had 2 special teams blunders. Jaden Reed, he's standing at the 10-yard line. Ball goes over his head. He retreats back to the 1 to catch the football.
Yeah, he caught it.
That's pee-wee football. You put your feet at the 10. If it goes over your head, you let it go.
Yeah. Come
He
on,
caught it running backwards before he got in the end zone, so he can't
Yeah.
do a touchback. He had to run out of the end, and he's got gunners full speed.
Full
already at
speed
him.
already at him.
Like Jaden Reed's fast, but you're not getting away from a guy
Yeah, it was
that's
bad.
already.
And then we
Ran the
didn't.
entire
Then frickin' Nixon was too scared to run up and make a catch, and the ball bounces off one of his guys, and we turn the ball over inside the 10.
Hit off his leg.
Like
Yeah.
you gotta not
Poison,
only
like,
exactly
come on.
whatever your
You-
bogey sign is,
yeah.
to get away from the
Whatever
football.
your word
He doesn't
is.
do that, and then he doesn't run up to catch the ball and field it, so it doesn't hit the ground, and it doesn't bounce off one of your guys. Absolute terrible special teams by the Green Bay.
Gotta call Peter on that one.
It's the forgotten phase of the game, man.
It is, dude.
Too many people undervalue how
It is.
important special teams is. I mean, a special teams play can just flip the course of a game so drastically. It's important, man. It nearly cost the Packers, who offensively and defensively dominated the Texans.
Kind of dominated, yeah.
But yeah, the special teams
Some
mistakes.
squirrely moments in that game.
Yeah, special teams mistakes gave the Texans some easy possessions.
A light at the end of the
Short
tunnel
fields,
for the Texans for sure.
But
But when you got a guy like Jordan Love who can just make up for, the blunders on special teams or one, turnover, and then the team gets ball in favorable territory, they score a touchdown pretty easy with Joe Mixon. When you got Jordan Love throwing the ball to Tucker Kraft like he did
pure
yesterday,
that's the reason he has a
he's
lot
more
of
Brett.
picks too.
He's more Brett Favre.
I was gonna say people can call him Rodgers, but he's more Brett Favre because he's
100%.
He's got a rocket of an arm.
Rocket.
He's a little bit better than Brett Favre because he doesn't steal welfare money from the state of Mississippi. Not yet, at least. He's still got a way to go. But
Still got some time.
Bakersfield, be on the lookout in
Yeah.
about 25 years.
keep an eye on Jordan Love. If he moves into your town, watch out.
Watch out.
But yeah, no, so he's gonna fire the ball into some questionable windows, and sometimes it comes in too hot. That's probably why they've had a lot of drop kicks, is because
Yeah.
that ball comes in like a missile.
Oh,
But
yeah.
here's the thing: is he'll make a throw that 99% of other quarterbacks won't make.
What are you doing?
That
I know.
would never
And
try.
then
But then he can complete,
Diabolical.
throws.
throws.
Passes that 99% of other quarterbacks
Can't.
cannot make.
Whatever the Packers got going on up there in their scouting department, if I'm other NFL teams, I'm talking to whoever the hell is the lead scout for the Green Bay Packers and how they scout quarterbacks. Because this freaking kid came from Utah. Brett Favre, tell me what college, Brett, obviously it's popular now because of his Mississippi, cheating scandal and all that. Southern Miss, Utah State, Cal Berkeley for Aaron Rodgers. Cal Berkeley's a nobody program. Nobody goes there.
So that's where all the
It's just
smart
lawyers.
stoners go.
Yeah, lawyers and doctors
Yeah, I
and
ain't
future business guys and everything.
You're not doing it.
And then the Utah State, buddy, with absolutely nobody up there. What are we doing? And he just comes in the NFL. He sits for a couple of years, watches the game, and then you see him throw the football. Last year, it was fit at the beginning of the year. I was like, oh man, 50-50. What's going to happen? But I had never had that impending sense of doom with him. I was like, I never felt that. I'm like, okay, we got a little system here with LaFleur's play. LaFleur, an awesome play caller, can get kind of cute in some of his situations with some of his dumb handoffs, but still get an offense going in the right direction. When you got a guy like this, though, Tucker Kraft, with this amazing touchdown catch, next for our top play. Jordan, long preface to show this top play, but Jordan Love with an absolute, Mercury said it, rocket of an arm across the middle of the field.
This catch ain't too bad either.
Catch is pretty good by best tight end in the league.
As right now,
Just consistently,
Best tight end in the
who's
league. At least top
this
5,
season.
yeah? Top 5 for sure.
for sure.
Gotta be top 5.
I'm just trying to think about who's been more consistent and played better at the tight end position.
I go Trey McBride.
McBride, he was.
I would also say
Kittle hasn't been bad this season. Kittle's
one of the unheralded guys, Isaiah Likely, out of that Baltimore team. He's been playing pretty good football this year.
I think he's been a little quiet in the past few weeks.
Last couple weeks, yeah.
He has been pretty
He's
good.
been playing pretty good football.
He had a big catch.
And tight end's one of those positions where you're not going to
It's
ball
so-
every week, but
it's the most inconsistent position in fantasy football.
for sure. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to think about the guys that have been more consistent. It has been Kraft.
Brock
It's been
Bowers.
likely.
Bowers. is up there.
Bowers. I've got Kittle in the league. He's been fairly consistent.
Yeah, and he had a
always
decent game. He
He at least
against the
catches
Chiefs.
like a touchdown each week. He's the only guy Purdy's got to throw the ball to.
I definitely didn't mean to do that. I definitely didn't mean to cut you off there, Mercury. I don't know.
All good.
my
All good.
finger
I
or
fat
something.
fingered it before. Don't even
Yeah.
worry about it. Looking good in those
Yeah.
slick
I
right unis.
kind of want to.
I like it, man.
I
You didn't
dodged
like
it at the
but I
beginning
like
of the. I dodged it at the beginning of this show. I totally forgot about it, and Mercury just brings up
They're
Mercury.
good. I
Mercury
like
just
it, brother.
picked off a scab, dude.
You're crazy, man.
I
I think
don't-
those look clean.
I'm a Packers fan.
I like
I'm a Packers owner. I made a phone call to Mark Murphy. I'm like, buddy, what are we doing with these ugly ass white helmets, these ugly ass white jerseys? The home green and yellow, brother. The green and gold, classic. You're just messing with football karma. You're messing with the juju of the team. I mean, it was bad luck, and it was like a superstition for guys not to wear white cleats in the NFL back in the day. Now you're wearing all this white uniform, white jerseys. You see the Jets wearing all white all the time. Has that ever been good? Nope. You see, I mean, I've seen the freaking Cincinnati Bengals do it. Never been good. They had those little white helmets last year with the black stripe. They got freaking blown out in them. You know what I mean? I just didn't like them, dude. And then the game wasn't even at nighttime, where the white helmet with the little bit of yellow that was on the white jersey would have been popping under the lights. With the fans as a whiteout, you would have had something there with the darkness. It just diminished it. It just diminished it. And I'm like, the purpose of a white jersey is so it pops at nighttime. They didn't even do that. It accomplished nothing to me. I need to watch this play again.
All white unis.
That's
Yeah,
what
Like where you sneak in a little bit of your primary colors, but it's primarily white with
like
like your primary colors like popping off the side.
you like
I
them too,
just
Big Man?
The
I
white
think it's
uniforms
clean.
look nice. Yeah.
they're clean, yeah.
I'm
I mean,
old
like, think
school.
about-
I'm old. Like all these kids. Like I grew up in an era where like you didn't have this. You didn't have Oregon with their 47 color combinations. You didn't have like that's fine for the Carolina Panthers because you're new to Jacksonville Jaguars wearing those, whatever. Crap teams do that because they need a gimmick. Like their team is so bad, you better wear some
Gotta
cool
have-
Dude,
uniforms.
that's
Green
why
Bay Packers, like I don't know, man.
that's probably why
I
the
didn't like
Saints did Drew Brees'
No.
ring ceremony on
I
Thursday.
Thursday
Because
night
they're like, there's
football.
no way.
There's
This is
no
a
way.
primetime game. We need to fill the stadium. People do not want to come watch us play the Denver Broncos.
That's brutal, dude.
That's
So they're like,
true though.
well, we're
because
gonna get Drew Brees on the ring of
we're
honor.
gonna do it on
people will
Monday
show up.
night in Arrowhead. That's our only home primetime game is that one. So it's
Yeah.
got to be that.
You got to make sure that that's actually getting,
Yeah.
that the seats are getting filled. Because I guarantee
In
you,
those uniforms, you saw us. We didn't even have our helmets match the. We
No,
wore throwback uniforms with our current
we're
helmets.
current helmet.
So the fucking gold didn't even match.
Yeah.
Sorry, Stokely, but the
Yeah.
colors didn't
We're
even
sorry,
match. our
Stoke. We're
uniform.
sorry.
Don't sue us, Stokely.
That's
We're
why
sorry.
we lost 33-10, man.
Yeah.
it was real cool of Sean Payton to do the city of New Orleans one more favor.
Yeah.
That's how I'm fired by.
No, our
They're saying
defense
I'm
is
fine.
trying to get him fired.
That's great.
You saw that terrible tackling. There was absolute.
Bad
They're
game.
trying to get Dennis
Yeah.
Allen fired.
It's bad,
Because
dude.
You know
the
what?
games we lost, other than that one and against the Bucks, we lost them close.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
lost games we shouldn't have lost.
Yeah.
Other
You
than-
came back and you fought. I mean, I was giving you live updates. I think you were working when I was at Beat Ups watching the game. I was like, oh, it's 21-0 Buccaneers. Like, it's over, And then all of it's like,
27.
it's 27-20. I'm like, we got a freaking ball game here, boys. Like, let's go.
They randomly just start playing like they should, and then I don't know. They're really trying to get Dennis Allen fired or something, man. His
I'm
defense-
sorry, boys. I got to see this top play one more time
Yeah,
from
we kinda-
Jordan Love.
We didn't really
I
break it
didn't
down
even-
the proper way.
and
We
I-
got-
and I
we got
totally
caught up
missed
on
it.
the unis.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
we
gonna
did.
piss
Hey,
me off.
what- Let's hear from the people. Do you guys like
Yeah,
the
did
all
you guys?
white
Yeah,
Packers?
Kyle, did you like the all white jerseys that the
Who's a
Packers?
fan of the
and
all white?
Packers? I didn't like them, but I do want to check out because I didn't see it. I watched it live, obviously, but I just want to watch this play one more time because, yeah, dude, Tucker Kraft and his catch with a freaking hose from Jordan Love, fitting it across three guys in the middle of the freaking end zone. Not a good throw, dangerous throw, an interception-worthy throw. Doesn't get picked, goes for a touchdown. Probably the difference in that ballgame. They didn't even show the back angle when they slowed it down. That defender, when that ball was coming across, he just missed.
Yeah, I don't know if
knocking
that
that
was,
ball.
Petrie or another safety,
I think it
but
was
something
Petrie.
was flying through.
And that's one of these throws where it's like there
Boomer bust.
aren't many guys that have the arm
Arm strength.
strength that can throw it like Jordan
Yeah.
Love did there. Like 99% of the time that ball at least gets deflected by a defender, probably picked off because they just can't
Yeah.
throw it with the zip
Zip.
that Jordan Love, put on that. And then back to that Tucker Kraft point, I mean, if Jordan Love threw that to 95% of other NFL tight ends, they probably drop that ball because I mean you're diving down, sliding. You got to catch an absolute rocket with just your hand.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Like to snag it. I know his hands were burning after that.
5th round
Second.
draft pick. Drum roll, please. South Dakota State Jackrabbits.
Yo.
Shout out
Tucker
Jackrabbits.
Craft, baby.
Jameer Gibbs, high scoring game, Minnesota versus Detroit. Jameer Gibbs, absolute weapon. I don't know, like small body frame. He gets the ball a lot. To me, he reminds me of like Javid Best that the Detroit Lions used to have back in the day. He reminds me of like a little poor man's person of like Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush is a little bit bigger than Jameer Gibbs. Jameer Gibbs, absolutely electric
I
athlete.
think they have a great combo with him.
They do. They
Sonic
good
and Knuckles.
power.
I've
Good
seen that
power,
they
good speed.
Rhythm
good
and
power,
bruise,
good,
like, yeah.
rhythm and bruise, yeah.
You can. It's the combination of power and speed. Like Montgomery's going to beat you down, and then here comes Gibbs in space. Like,
I
and
am
you see when
worried.
he gets the ball in space. Deadly.
I am worried in the playoffs when that game is played in a box and you can throw athletes out the window. I've seen it every year since '95. In the playoffs, the end of the season in December, these games get tighter. Those weapons become a little less weaponized when the game becomes smaller and played inside the
But,
10-yard, the line of scrimmage.
Do you think he had a bad playoffs last year when they went to the NFC Championship?
Yeah, because he didn't win.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, so if you're not helping your team win the biggest games, I don't care about stats. You know, like, there's just players that when people, like, the announcers will say it on TV, they're like, this defense travels, this running game travels. Like, does that, they're a dome team. Is that, like, they got lucky they played a team, like, warm up. Or is that going to go on the road and, like, say maybe, like, the Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers play in the NFC Championship this year? Is he going to go out and do that in Lambeau where it's possibly 5 degrees outside?
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? And the game tightens up. Now, you can get free and loose on a play, but, like, sustaining 4 quarters in the playoffs, you can get a play, you can get free, you know, you can get big explosive plays. Every team has it. It happens all the time in the playoffs. I'm not saying that. But, like, sustaining, it's not just – the Lions aren't playing just for this season. Just like last year, like, I've seen flashes in the pan from Megatron, from all, you know, Randy Moss, and then just, like, out of nowhere, oh, my gosh, this is an amazing player. And then just like that, the lights get turned off, and then there's nothing else to sustain it. There just needs to be something more from Jameer Gibbs. He's not anything I haven't seen before in terms of talent-wise, like, electric player, absolutely explosive in space. I'm not knocking him as a player. The team fit, traveling on the road in the playoffs, even at home on the playoffs, when that game gets tighter, they're going to scheme him now. He's on the field. Is he going to pass pro? Now, if he's in pass pro, if he's on the field, he's in the offset out of the shotgun. I'm going to blitz him because now I'm forcing you to not – you can't run a route now.
Yeah, that's true.
Now you can't run the ball. Now you have to pick up a blitz in a double A-gap formation, and you got, you know, a linebacker coming down on you, or you have to pick him up. You know, if he's on the field, just like Kyle Pitts or the tight end position, there's these guys now, when the game gets tighter, I'm just going to – I don't care what you're going to do on offense. I don't care about how far you can throw the ball. I don't care about the style, you know, knuckles and all that. If he's on the field, I won't blitz with David Montgomery because you're going to have him in there for pass pro. Now I know if he's in there and you're not in a running situation, you're definitely throwing the football. Now you're definitely throwing the football because he's not going out for a route because you don't have Jameer Gibbs there, which that's your weapon out of the backfield receiving, right? Now I know you're throwing. Now I'm not going to blitz you. Now I'm going to show blitz, and then I'm going to drop out in zone coverage, make you start thinking, and then that's when you can take advantage of Jared Goff always shitting down his leg in clutch time because he's used to playing in a certain style of offense, doing the same similar things over and over and over. Playoffs, you throw that monkey wrench in there, you get a turnover, and you lose just like they did last year. You know, also doesn't help that their head coach, Dan Campbell, did not help their team at all at the end of the game situation in the playoffs. But I don't know. Jameer Gibbs, great player, great juke, absolutely stud player if you're fantasy betting, elite level athlete, top 5 running back probably right now in the NFL.
Yeah,
I'd probably say that with his explosiveness and, you know, fantasy numbers and all that. Betting, I mean, you love the guy. He's hitting all of his numbers.
I mean,
bigger picture, though.
Offensively, though, the Lions are a very complete team. Ben Johnson's a great coordinator.
Yeah.
Look, the thing is just the style that they played just stopped working for them at a bad time. That's the reason they got to the NFC Championship, was going for it on 4th down, running the ball.
Being aggressive.
Being aggressive. And then it stopped working for them at the wrong time. But they didn't abandon their identity. They're still playing that way this year. I mean, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I think they will. They're a top 4 team in the NFC.
Oh yeah, well, and I mean, when you have an offensive line that's just not good, like there are a lot of good defenses, but I mean those guys just are bruisers, they're maulers. It's going to be tough even when you are blitzing, and then like the different formations with their tight ends that they can bring in. They've got good blocking tight ends. Laporta hasn't been making an impact in the receiving game, but I mean he's out there, he's getting blocks. You got Brock Wright in there, who's always been historically more of a blocking tight end. They just got, and the way you can have 2 backs that just won't wear down throughout the game, that can wear down on the defense. They'll be tough.
Well, Gibbs does wear down. He goes off the field for a long time.
But they got Montgomery, who doesn't wear down as easily. So,
no, but then that's what I mean. Like that's when end of the season. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay. Like all we got to do is just wait for this.
I know you like.
I don't
to
care
down
what you.
people that aren't the Packers, Jimmy. But
No,
if
the Packers suck too. It's like I don't even like Green Bay. Like I don't think we're good. You know what I mean? But like we beat them last year in Thanksgiving and made Gibbs look regular. Montgomery looks regular. Like teams that are familiar opponents. I don't know, man. Like the Lions to me are like one of those awesome teams because like they've never been this good. If they've sort of like had this like maintained level of success, this team wouldn't even be good. It wouldn't even be talked about as like one of the best teams in Detroit Lions history. You know, I mean, their defense is awful, so we can't even talk about that.
They're getting better.
Their secondary is garbage, and when they play a legitimate offense, they're going to give up 40 again, just like they were last year. I mean, didn't they like give up? I think they. What was it? No, it was probably a couple years ago. It doesn't matter. It's long past due, but. The Detroit Lions, like they're going to be just out of the numbers in the NFC. I think they're probably a top 4 team right now, but like they're playing for something bigger. Now, what happens next year? Say they lose again in the NFC Championship, right? Players want to get paid. Are they going to keep everybody? Who gets selfish? Is Amon-Ra going to want a bag? Probably. You know,
didn't he already get paid? I'm pretty sure he already did.
A few years ago, but he's up for a new deal soon.
No, I think he got paid like this offseason.
This offseason?
Because he was.
Or what about Goff now?
Deal.
Okay, Goff. Now you're talking maybe one of their offensive linemen.
Goff
takes
a team-friendly deal for sure because they've given him so much.
They really revived his career.
And is this team going to be the same when Ben Johnson leaves to be head coach somewhere? And he stops making Dan Campbell look like the sustainment. Like I need to see some turnover. That guy stay there and then keep that same level where you're still a top 5 team in your conference.
But I mean, have we really ever seen that from like sustained championship level football from any team besides like the Patriots,
Chiefs,
and then the Chiefs recently?
The Packers are up there. The Niners are always up there.
I was like in the 60s, Jimmy. Like, come on, like Favre only got 1 Super Bowl.
But like they're always making the playoffs and winning a playoff game. You're going to give yourself. But you're still giving yourself an opportunity to win. Like that's all I want. Like like the Lions are good now, but like 3-4 years from now, are you still going to the playoffs and being a threat in the play? Because it doesn't matter. Like if you it's hard to win a Super Bowl. Are you going to maintain that same level of success when there's a lot of turnover? When the games are tough and you've already shown that you're going to choke in a big game. Is Dan Campbell a Super Bowl winning head coach? That's a question. Is Jared Goff going to get you over the hump? That's a question. Is your defense with that secondary going to win a big game on the road? And then win that game, and then guess what? Have to come back and do it again next season with the turnover. That's just what I mean. Like right now, it's fine. It's awesome, and it's a flash in the pan. Detroit's never seen it. Congratulations, Detroit Lions fans. You have to be loving
for all the teams.
You can
right now because it is
totally
up for grabs right now.
Yeah.
Nobody really has no one's really for sure a winner in any conference or any division.
The Eagles have gone back. The Eagles have went to a Super Bowl and then also gone back to the playoffs. Like so, that's maintaining. I don't know. They've lost coaches, lost players. No big deal. We lose them, bring in new ones. Is that going to happen with the Lions?
Well, I think if you win,
with an owner who's as cheap as there is.
Well, I don't know if you. I mean, the way she really like changed the culture, and they were about patience and development. So I do think this is a good sign for Detroit that there's been a massive like organizational change to where they're about development. They're about they're establishing a good culture and bringing in the right people
Yeah.
and not
There is a
not being
culture. There,
cheapskates. Like,
it is a good culture.
it seems like it's really shifted, you know. And now
I
you've
do
got the
think
fans rallying behind that, and it's
Yeah,
it's a big thing for them there. So
which
again,
they've done with Matt
only-
Stafford and Megatron. They
Yeah.
told me that their culture changed too. Then
only time will tell. But
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean, like just
I do like the Lions.
the way
in the NFC, though.
they turned in like what was supposed to be just like a run of the mill team. You know, like a wild card, maybe they win a game type of squad. That was-
Especially when they were trashing
Yeah.
Jared Goff when he first got
I
like,
mean,
oh, is this?
like go to the last season. You're like, well, the Lions, they could be fun. They might make a wild card win.
I thought they were one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl last year.
No, they weren't.
They were at least 5-1. I mean, they were the favorite to win the NFC North. So why wouldn't they be one of the favorites to? They were the favorite to win.
Well, that was just because there
Well,
was
that's-
nobody there.
yeah.
You know,
But
That was that
Which
was
they
their
did.
division.
And they just
yeah,
showed a
to
lot.
take in there.
You had Jordan Love doing his rookie season. The
Yeah,
Vikings with Kirk Cousins were probably there. The Bears were just,
nah, Bears are
nobody,
good.
nobody was
It
giving
was
them.
theirs.
That's
it.
The Bears are in the boat that the Lions were in, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like to me, it's just like there's levels. Like I just don't get caught up in like I just really don't. Just because I've seen so many teams come from out of like a left field and like win, and then like even when the Chiefs got Patrick Mahomes, like I remember fans clowning it, and I'm like, well, this is better than what they've had, and if this guy's just decent, they're going to probably be in the playoffs, which is what happened. Then they lose in the Super Bowl to Tom Brady. They've already won a Super Bowl. They've gone back. Multiple players have turned over. Multiple coaches have left. No big deal. Keep on rolling. Like, is that going to happen?
Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah. The
Some-
Patriots had it. The Colts had it. The Steelers for a long time when they had those defenses with Ben Roethlisberger, they had it. Baltimore with Joe Flacco. Like, there's just so many teams. Like, just show me you're going to maintain, a drop up. I don't even care if you win the division, honestly, because I've seen my teams won a Super Bowl without winning a division. Like the Packers won a Super Bowl in 2010. We didn't win the division. When Brett Favre won the Super Bowl in '96, we didn't win the division. Minnesota Vikings did. They just got upset in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, we've won. Eli Manning's won both of his Super Bowls as a 7th seed. Where they 6th seed, whatever it was back then. So it doesn't matter. Just get to the playoffs, get on the bus, and if you're on the bus, you have a chance to be the driver. That's my thing. And it's like when there starts to become that turnover in Detroit, we've seen it in Philly. They were able to maintain, no big deal. They haven't gone back to the Super Bowl, but that's hard. Like Super Bowl is like you need some like dark forces at work. Something needs to happen. It's kind of crazy, to make the back-to-back Super Bowls. But at the same time, like, give me the NFC Championship game. Show me you're going to win a playoff game.
Well, at this point,
keep
they
it
just have
going.
to show it because last year was like the first time they've been in the playoffs. They didn't make the playoffs the year before,
Right.
so now it's kind of just too early to really tell if they're gonna be chokers.
That's why I pumped the
they've
brakes
had-
on them.
They did have only one season,
Right.
first home playoff game in however many decades.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah. And when Ben Johnson leaves and there's a turnover, there's the change, is that going to maintain? Like, that's my thing.
if Ben Johnson even leaves, because there's a lot of guys.
That's a good question.
Spagnuolo could be a head coach.
That's a good
running
coach.
That crazy ass defense in the Chiefs. He could be.
You think he could be a head coach again? Because he was bad
I
when
think
he was a head coach.
if he's getting a good defensive system like he's got, like you could just run your offense like the
if he
Chiefs
goes
do.
to a team with a good defense.
Yeah, if he goes to a team with a
Well,
solid
who's gonna-
defense.
That's hard though. Because most teams that have a solid defense, they're not getting rid of they're probably not going to have a head coaching vacancy. So I don't know. That's it. Like, can he take a team? Like, I want a head coach to take a team from who's not a player. I kind of respect Dan Campbell. He's also kind of wishy-washy. He doesn't really do much. He doesn't call defensive plays. He doesn't call offensive plays. He's sort of like a Mike Tomlin.
Maybe he'll
CEO
go the
type.
Eric Bieniemy route and just go to a bad team and be their coordinator.
Yeah.
Try to turn that around.
Dude, honestly,
That
if
didn't
it
really
goes
work out
south
for
for the
Bieniemy.
Bears,
No.
Ben Johnson in Chicago, then who's going to know the insides and outs of that Detroit Lions offense? You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That team for years and years and years, they've had some even when they were bad, they've had good players. They've had guys
They
scoring
cut some
points.
Good career short.
100. This is a team that had Ndamukong freaking Suh playing at a Hall of Fame level on their defense was the strength of that team, and they had Megatron and prime Matt Stafford. And you talked about their defense more than people talked about their offense. And that team was scoring points on anybody. Still never won a division. Still never really.
won a playoff.
I think
game.
they won one playoff game.
No, because that was their
They didn't as a
streak that
wild
they-
card.
The streak that they broke in the last playoffs was a playoff win. They hadn't had one since
It's
the
the
91
'90s.
season.
That's right. Yeah, they
They
lost
had
to
made the
Cowboys.
playoffs, but they just always.
I thought they
their first
beat
game.
the Cowboys on a crazy bat out of the end zone, but I guess I could have been mistaken. I could have been.
That was
That I think
that-
Dak
that
Prescott.
was the Seahawks that did that.
Was it the Seahawks?
Yeah, because it was like Cam Chancellor batted the ball. out
Yeah.
the back.
Batted the ball to the back of the end
And
zone.
everyone
That
was, or
kinda
no, it
crazy.
wasn't Cam Chancellor. It was like KJ Wright. Everyone was like, "Whoa, you can't do that."
You can't do that. Yeah, you definitely can't do. I thought that was the Lions, and that kind of screwed them out of the playoff win. I think. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting. I do think the Lions are a top 4 team in the NFC. I think they are one of the top 2 seeds in the NFC. It's just going to be an interesting, and that was a great conversation, guys. I loved it because it just brings up. I like bringing up those questions like that. Like, all right, is this team good now because of just right now, or can because NFL's
Well,
wild, bro. They're going to
wasn't
take
even
apart
really
this team.
Talking about longevity, I just think this is the best window for the
100%.
Lions.
Yeah.
to do
That's
something.
fair.
You've got tons of talent offensively. Your run game is lethal. I mean, and you have probably the best O-line in the league, an amazing offensive coordinator. You've got the talent right now, and so I wasn't even thinking about longevity. It's always so hard to tell. There's so much turnover, and very few teams really maintain success for a long time. It's
There's
often
teams that do though.
it's a lot of
There's
ways.
a lot of teams that do.
Well, I'm
See,
talking about
making
champion.
the playoffs
I'm talking about
and
championship
losing
success.
is one thing,
Yeah,
but because any team could just make the playoffs.
because I mean, the Bills this past year.
But then go back,
Yeah,
I think the Bills have maintained for a while.
Yeah,
but
they
but they
continue
if
it.
they lose.
Just
how
make
many,
it.
How
But,
many rings do they have?
see
But,
that.
and here's the thing.
Well, then
Jimmy,
the Lions are making it, so then the Lions
No,
would be.
you can go
2 years.
to the playoffs year after year after year, but if you just keep losing, I mean,
What's the
at some point
point?
you're like, what's the point? Okay, clearly we can't get it done when it matters the most. We keep hitting the same roadblock. Is that really success, or is that you're just able to fake it? Until
It's regular season success.
I mean,
Regular season success.
You
'Cause
win a
you're
playoff
putting
game is
yourself
hard.
into a position to win. Winning any game in the NFL is hard.
It's
Just
hard,
scoring a
yeah.
touchdown in the NFL is hard.
Very difficult.
come on,
Not easy. But if you win a playoff game and to me, that's setting yourself up. If you're going to go to a playoff game, like a division, and you're going to make a divisional game, and you win to go to the NFC or AFC championship game, you're in the Final Four. That's all. That's it. You know what I mean? If you can make a Final Four, we laud that's the way I look at it. If you're a Final Four team, bro, you're elite. And then you go back and then you do it again. I saw Aaron Rodgers. He lost, yeah, granted, but how many NFC championship games did Aaron Rodgers make? I knew I was year after year, no matter what the losses were, no matter what, you're gonna be in it. And it doesn't really after that, could have, would have, should have at that point, but go back and do it again. Okay, you lost your guy, no big deal. Guess what? Go back and do it again. There's so many teams that do it where it's I don't know, to me that's just that's what I look for. Are you gonna be able to do it again? I'm already past this year. I'm already on to next. I don't even give a shit about the rest of the regular season for the Green Bay Packers because I'm already in the postseason and I already know it. So it's I don't care. We went on a 5-game losing streak last season and won a playoff game.
I mean, the Eagles started 10-1. Everyone was like, "Oh, they might go back to the Super Bowl," and then we saw how their season.
They still made a playoff game.
They did.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
They
Hey,
got-
that's a
Well,
lot
yeah,
of football.
embarrassed.
That's a lot of football, dude. That's a lot of football going back to back. You're playing all those games. You got to come back the next season, same pressure. Start off. That's hard, man.
We,
It's hard.
Again, granted, this is the Broncos, but they under Josh McDaniels, people forget they started 6-0.
Won a playoff game with Tim
They
Tebow.
They beat the no, they didn't make the playoffs because they finished 2-6 in their final. Or they finished
What was
2-8.
What was that touchdown pass against the Steelers? That wasn't a playoff game.
That wasn't with Josh McDaniels.
Who
That
was
was
it?
that we started 6-0 with Kyle Orton as our quarterback.
Yeah.
We upset the
Yeah.
Patriots week 4 or
Right,
something.
week 4.
Everyone, yeah, we're riding high. We're like, oh, we beat Bill Belichick and Brady,
Yeah.
and then 6-0 going into the bye week, 2-8 coming out of it. Went 8-8, missed the playoffs,
Interesting.
and then
I thought
Josh
that was.
McDaniels-
I thought Josh McDaniels was a coach for that Tim Tebow.
no, that was let's say that was John Fox.
John Fox.
Because that, like the year after, like
He left and went to Chicago, I think.
yeah, but John Fox was there. He was there like a year
He
before
had.
Manning got there.
I thought he had Manning that one year when you
He did.
guys
He had him like 20.
and you
Was
guys
it 11 or 12 when Manning
and-
finally got there?
and then you guys played the Baltimore Ravens and
The-
got
the Mile
blown
High
out.
Miracle.
Or
We didn't get blown out. It was like a Joe Flacco completed like a crazy deep pass like that, just barely got over the outstretched hand of, I believe it was Darian Stewart.
Darian Stewart.
Just missed it. And they were like calling it like the Mile High Miracle, like he completed like
Interesting.
a Hail Mary. And it was like, I mean, that was just kind
That
of
was, there was a lot
that
of
was
points
just
in
kind of
that
a blown
scored in
call.
that game. It was like
right. Well, then everyone's like, oh, there's Peyton Manning. Can he play in cold weather? That's a question. I'm like, Peyton Manning put up like 35 points.
Yeah.
Right. The defense gave up 38. Like Peyton Manning
Yeah.
didn't let Joe Flacco throw for over 400 yards
Right.
and 4 touchdowns.
He unfortunately has to sit on the sideline and watch that happen.
right.
Yeah.
He's
And
not
I've seen
really
Manning
able to-
play in New England in bad games and play just fine. I think that's
He
something
was
that,
making
that
the
gets
playoffs
created.
before he got to Denver. That was like
Yeah.
that was a really weird like narrative.
There wasn't it because it was a dome team, dude. Like they would go outside, and there was AFC Championship games in New England where Dallas Clark did absolutely nothing. He got shut down by Teddy Brisky, and his offense just got kind of looked regular, no running game really. So it's kind of like, and they're awful. I don't think the Colts really ever gave Peyton Manning a top defense
No.
like that. They had a couple guys like Bobby Sanders, whatever,
Dwight
Freeney,
Freeney there for a while. He was
and Mathis on the other side. So they had 2 pass rushers, but they weren't stopping the run.
the Colts got into a lot of shootouts.
They did.
Right.
They were
They
relying
were-
on
And then
they
it
were
was
relying
you
on
would
the sheriff.
because I mean like
yeah.
they would play these Ravens teams too, and those were always dogfights. Like because the Ravens just had like such an average to bad offense most of the time, but they had Ray Lewis
Top
and Ed Reed
defense.
and those like nasty defenses that they had that just
Yeah.
had you in a
Right.
dogfight
Yeah,
that
dude.
whole game.
The Steelers in that division
Yeah.
too had, I mean, like that. That's my thing, man. Like like they went from that, like the Baltimore Ravens, quick turnaround, no big deal, keep it moving. Back with Lamar, back with this, we got this. Okay, we'll adjust, knock the rust off. Okay, a couple adjustment years, no big deal, we're in it.
And that's still on
Like
coaching,
maintaining,
though. Like, they have Lamar Jackson and they're still like committed to a full on running game.
right?
Even without Derrick Henry, they're
Well,
committed to
They've
their
lost
running offense.
They've lost multiple GMs. Bringing a new guy, no big deal. How you
That-
doing? Keep it moving.
That's a running team, and that defense that's AFC North defenses are just that's what they do.
That's what they do.
Swarm the ball. They're
Yeah.
all making the tackle.
Look at the Steelers. They still got Minka Fitzpatrick, TJ Watt.
That's
Kinda
Don't
that's
sleep on
that's
Alex
easy to
Highsmith,
have longevity.
Frickin'
Joey Porter.
love
Being
Alex
Bishop,
Highsmith.
undrafted
Love Alex
free
Highsmith,
agent,
dude.
2 picks last night.
Love that
against
guy. Yeah.
against Aaron
Frickin'
Rodgers.
Aaron
How'd
Rodgers,
you find
dude.
this guy? Like,
Aaron Rodgers. Oh, Aaron Rodgers.
yeah.
Oh, man.
It's just coaching there because like guys leave. The defense coordinator left Baltimore, and you're not really seeing that much
Wink
of a
Martindale.
change.
Right?
They
No.
had a
Well,
slow, they
you
had a
went-
slow
Organization.
start.
You lost
Organization.
Wink. You went to Brian McDonald. Or,
Yeah. Brian
he's
McDaniel. Yeah, he's the
Seahawks
Seahawks
now.
coach.
Seahawks
Mike
coach.
McDaniel.
Mike
right?
McDaniel. Mike McDonald.
Mike McDonald.
Yeah, we're good.
There's a lot of
Yeah, there's a lot of
There's a lot of
McDaniel.
mix
Yeah,
and
there's a.
Mikes and-
What are we doing in it?
We're getting
Come on.
mixed
Make
up.
it easy. How about a Joe Smith in there for
Yeah,
make it
something
easy for us?
For real, man.
Ben Johnson's about
Or-
as basic and bland as it gets.
Or it's just like so like crazy and unique that like there can only be like one of these guys,
Yeah.
Like I'm drawing a blank, but I'm sure there's somebody out
There's-
there.
or they're not good. I think like the weirder the name you have, like the better player you might be, or coordinator.
That's true.
I don't know.
Haha, Clinton Dix.
Yeah, I mean, shout out and Dominican Sue,
Sue.
Jason Pierre-Paul.
solid.
It's like a I don't know.
Elvis Doomerville.
Alex Smith. Oh my gosh, yeah, where your legs in a snap and your career's over.
Million Alex
There's
Smiths
a
on the
million. I don't know, but we're gonna break it all down until the final whistle. We still have a few more plays.
Right,
We got off on a tangent, and that's
Yeah,
okay
no,
because, dude, I love that. To me, that's like the best content to create. Like when you can start a conversation like that and like how people view. That's what I love about the NFL.
Yeah,
I love
let
that
the
stuff.
people
That's my
listening
favorite thing.
Get
It
in on
really is.
this. What do you view as like
Yeah,
success? I mean, is just making the playoffs year after year enough, or do you want to see some championships, or at least make like
at least one, and then just make
Yeah,
it again. You know
make
what I
it,
mean?
you know.
Like,
because
what have the Niners done since the '90s? But to me, that's one of the teams that maintain. They just know how to draft, develop. Yeah, there's going to be some down years. The Packers have gone 6-10 with some guys. Aaron Rodgers had an NFC Championship team in 2007, inherited a championship team, and then won 6 games. No big deal. How you doing? Keep it moving. Okay, a few years later. To me, it's like, like what, Caveman and HG said, like, yeah, just making the playoffs, okay. To me, if you can get one and then just make it and just give yourself a realistic opportunity. Like, does Houston have a realistic opportunity to come out of the AFC this year?
I don't think
With
so.
like,
What I've seen.
health, yeah.
Then that
If
brings.
they can stay healthy, maybe. But yeah, like I mean, not being able to really like adjust and like you struggle without your top guys there is not.
But by all means,
There's
throughout the
some-
media, they're looked at as a pawn.
Yeah.
Like one of those teams that are, and I'm like, what have they? I just don't see it. Like, especially when I see, CJ Stroud. Okay, like all this, like, yeah, you didn't have Nico Collins, but I'm like, I thought he was going to shred my defense.
I mean,
Our rushing attack is not good against
Patrick
the run.
Mahomes hasn't had Rashid Rice since like week 4, and they're still
No problem.
I mean, not really
Yeah.
through the play of Patrick Mahomes. if
Like,
we're being
I
honest.
think
But still,
everybody
like,
watching right now, Cincinnati Bengals,
Defensive.
dangerous.
Mhm.
Dangerous. So, like, they've been to a Super Bowl, they've lost. The little bit of a drop off, injuries, that happens.
They still made
You can't, but
postseason. No, they nearly made it with a backup
with a
quarterback.
backup quarterback. So, like,
In
I
the
don't
best,
know,
and
like,
that was in the best division of football.
best
No
division
team-
of football.
No team in the AFC North had a losing record
Absolutely.
last season. So I mean, like
Yeah.
They all made
What?
the playoffs.
yeah. I mean, when that's what you got to complete.
All 4 of them.
No, the Bengals just missed
Bengals
out
just
The
missed
Bengals
out.
just missed. So
because they were 9-8. There was
yeah.
like one other 10-7.
10 wins is going to have to come. And I think you're
I think
reverse
that's,
effect with the NFC North this year.
yeah.
From the AFC last year, where you're going to get, I think that odd man out is probably going to be Chicago with the way that the Vikings have started and the Lions. And I do think the Lions are a top 4 team. I just don't view them yet on the level of being one of those
What worries
successful
me-
teams that you can put on that level with Niners, Chiefs, Bengal. I don't
So
know.
what worries me with the Vikings is like, all right, they were getting overlooked. Mal McCarthy's gone. It's nobody believed in Sam Darnold, and then they came out swinging. Now it's like, okay, like these dudes are legit. You can't overlook them. Like you're gonna start getting people's best. There's some stuff on film out there now. We've seen what's going on. Like, is this gonna be maintainable for them?
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure about that. I mean, we did see the Lions, really have no problems against that defense, which had been giving people fits.
Yeah.
And now,
That's my, we
I'll
talked
say
about it in earlier shows. where
Darnold hasn't looked.
There was
great
some
the past
question
2
marks
weeks.
with the Vikings defense
Yeah,
coming into this Lions game. There's question marks everywhere for sure, but I think like certain teams can cover up. Like you can pick apart. You guys aren't wrong. Like you can pick apart every single team like that. But at the same time, like that's not going to happen because we're only in week 7 right now. By the end of the year, you probably think these teams, top teams like that, the cream always rises to the top no matter what. And a team can go could the Chiefs be this year's Philadelphia Eagles from last year? The Chiefs are undefeated still, I think, right? Or do they have 1 loss? I don't
they're
remember.
undefeated. Yeah,
So they're undefeated. Okay, so say they start off 10-1, and then by the end of the year, maybe something happens. They get dinged up again because there's a lot of injuries over there. A lot of injuries on both sides of the ball. It's still a long season. Teams are still shaking it out. Where it's the Chiefs organization is still so good that they're going to be able to plug and play somebody to fill that hole that they need because their system is so good. Where coaching can just get thrown completely out of the window. The GM, the scouting department is just going to, because that's who really puts together your team, is your scouting department and your general manager. So it's like, all right, these guys are going to be able to get this player from this practice squad, insert him. Like, I think Rashid, was he drafted?
Yeah, he was like a late round. He was like 4th or 5th round pick.
Okay.
Not a super high draft.
You think 4th and 5th rounders to me
mid round?
mid round? Yeah. I sometimes I just get confused. I always ask people because I'm like, I don't know. Like I've seen Hall of Famers come out of the 5th round, so I don't think that's like a high draft, like a low draft pick or whatever. Because like Tyreek Hill, beast 5th round draft pick, no big deal. Aaron Jones, dog, 6th round.
Beast when he has a good quarterback throwing. Brother, I started him in
True
fantasy
story.
football this
True
week.
story that you're not wrong, Mercury.
I might lose to a guy that forgot to set his lineup because I had
Oh,
Debo
no.
Samuel, Tyreek Hill, and the Jets defense.
Oh man.
Just stinker after stinker from those three guys. Bro,
Yeah, that's a rough weekend.
I'm relying on Mark Andrews and Chase
That's a rough
McLaughlin.
weekend.
That leads me then. I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut you off. We have 10 minutes, boys. Give me your. Did you guys make any power rankings?
So power rankings.
Your top 10, like top 10 teams, top 5 teams.
I think I can give you a quick top 10. Just kind of
Give me your top 10 teams right now. It's week 8. You know, or going into week 8. Who's your top 10 teams?
top 10. Well, I think obvious number.
Or just
one,
give me your top 5.
obvious number one's the Chiefs. You got to put them up in one in the power rankings.
Just on the record.
Yeah, they're really good. I kind of want to wait to see what happens tonight with the Ravens. I honestly might put them at 2 if they can pull off this win. They got a tough one though. If they don't win, I think they're still top 10 for me, but they probably drop. If I had to pick another number 2 team right now, honestly, might go with the Lions.
That's fair.
5-1. They just look
Definitely
really
fair.
good. I mean,
Beat down the
Beat
Decimated.
undefeated in Minnesota.
Vikings.
yeah, decimated the awful Cowboys before. Just took out some vengeance on them.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
That was
And
bad.
then you know what? I mean, I would go. I might go with the Packers. That's tough.
I don't even have him in my top 5. I don't even have him in top 5.
Honestly, number 3 for me
He's
might
too weak
actually
defensively right now.
be the Steelers. Like
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
They look so
I got-
complete with Russell Wilson.
I got
in there.
KC, Baltimore, Buffalo in my top 3.
Buffalo
I like that.
would probably
Buffalo.
be 5 for me.
Yeah.
I've seen some big vulnerabilities from them that
Totally, yeah.
could
yeah.
be easily
yeah.
exploited by a better team.
Josh Allen, dude.
That's
good.
what-
And now he's got Amari
That's
Cooper,
like-
which makes me feel really confident.
The guy
Another
is
guy
a
you could
problem.
think of that
Ability.
has like the ability to laser one in, like Jordan Love. Can,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
has the arm strength to throw it in there.
He's definitely one of those guys, yeah.
He's also just a guy that has the tangibles, just the size and power there. So Bills, I got to put him up there too. Yeah,
I'd say
Yeah.
easy one.
I got KC, Baltimore, Buffalo. Definitely got the Lions, and then dude, this is gonna sound crazy, and I know they kind of have a couple losses already. Jalen Hurts already kind of showing signs of weakness. Philadelphia Eagles are a dangerous freaking football team. I don't care what anybody says. You can talk bad about them. I think they're still one of those like top 5 teams in the NFL,
really
that you
that's
have to-
interesting.
brother. When they got AJ Brown cooking and
That's
Jalen,
true.
brother, they are
Look
just
out for
There
him.
they're a
is a-
freaking wagon, dude.
So they did get.
We'll
better
see if this
throughout the
offensive line can get better. Missing Jason Kelsey has definitely hurt them.
Yeah,
You just see there's like if you watch it's like who are the two guys? It's like Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata.
yeah.
You watch them on their side of the line versus
The other
Jurgens and
Jurgens, yeah.
who, the other new guy there.
Yeah, he's a
You watch like how those guys block, like just the contrast and how they take their block.
cohesiveness.
It's
Yeah,
wild.
the cohesive. By the end of the year,
But-
I sort of project. I just project.
All right, that's fair.
I just
All right.
project sort of.
If I had to give you the top 5, KC, Detroit, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and then
There you go.
at number 6, I do the Commanders right now.
Commanders
That's
top
where
10
I
team.
put them, too.
They
I got them
are-
top 10.
Top
They
10 team.
are
I got the
top
Commanders over my Packers.
They're close. They're a close fit.
I think
for
they're
me
better
with
fit.
The Bills.
What you know what? Like you can see a lot of teams they'll lose their starting quarterback, and even though they're playing a bad team, still struggle to beat that bad team, but figure out a way to get it done. The Commanders just dominated the Panthers without Jaden Daniels for most of that game, and
Yeah.
I mean like they can run the ball so well. I mean they had 2 passing yards at one point in the game, like in the second quarter, and they were winning 20-0. That's
Yeah.
just stupid.
Yeah. I really like Washington there at 6. You could flip flop
Washington.
this between 6, 7. Just because,
Tampa
yeah.
might be 7 for me.
I
They'll
was
think
gonna
they're
put
probably
Minnesota.
less.
I would still put Minnesota slightly ahead of Washington.
That's fair.
Then after Washington, I was going to put my Green Bay Packers. I got them about 8, 9 right now. I mean, I think the signs of life are there. I have them
think
like
the Packers
8,
are
9.
better than them.
I think they're 8-9 somewhere around there.
Minnesota, though.
I think so too. The Packers, honestly, like for me, like the power ranking, like how power rankings are made without projecting right now, probably definitely a top 10 team. Most dangerous teams in the NFL, you're going to project to the playoffs because the regular season is just regular. For the teams that make the playoffs consistently, I don't really value the regular season all that much just because I already know I'm already in. When you're playing for something bigger, I don't give a crap about the regular season. We're already going to be in a place on playoffs. It just depends on what seed we're going to be. That's kind of for the last my entire life. That's all I've ever known. Like I've never thought the regular season mattered my entire football life because all my uncles, all my dad, all these people, all the Packer fans, Packer Nation, the only season that matters is the postseason. Right when you walk into the freaking, players' locker room and, if you take a tour, you'll see it. Lombardi. The only season that matters is the postseason. That's it. And like, I'm like, okay, like, all right, I'm a kid. I've seen, going on tour. I don't know. Most dangerous team in the NFL? Got to be one of the Green Bay Packers for sure. But power rankings, I only got them like 8-9 just because their defense to me is still wishy-washy.
Yeah.
Offensive
Where
line
do you
still
guys
has some
put
issues.
Seattle?
I got them. I got them rounding out my top 10. I got them rounding.
Right
I
there.
got them rounding out my
That's
top
fair.
10. I got them rounding out my top 10. I still have to respect a little bit what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have done. So between Tampa Bay and Seattle, that 9-10.
That's
Why
kind of where
not?
they drop it for me too. Yeah. Going
Yeah,
around
9-10.
that spot.
Yeah.
Because you've got to drop. I don't know. Put them down at like closer to like the 15, the power rankings.
Dangerous
That's kinda-
team. Tampa Bay
that's-
Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Who wants to play them
Too
right?
dangerous. to
That's
put
a
them down
dangerous-
lower.
Dude.
They got to be in the top 10, just sort of offense.
Baker has to at the very least be in the MVP conversation.
Why
Dude-
not, right?
Yeah,
Dude
man.
is stacking
Talk about
every week.
maintaining. You lose Tom Brady, no big deal. We're still making the playoffs.
Baker comes in, yeah,
In steps
hardly misses a
in,
beat.
no big deal.
And
You
The
know?
defense, it's been like there have been some shaky moments from it to start the year, but I think when that unit, if they're fully healthy and playing their best ball, that's a tough unit. You've got Antoine Winfield back there, Jamal Dean, Levante David,
Yeah.
Devin White, Troy Traylon
And
Sharinka,
Antoine Winfield Jr. is still a beast
Yeah.
back there in Tampa Bay.
Traylon
And
Sharinka,
very-
underrated pass rusher. I forget what his name is on the other end, but those guys,
They-
solid young pass rushing.
They
duo
got that.
right there.
They got my guy in the middle, dude.
Vita Vea, absolute
bro.
monster.
It's a freaking ballerina out there in the middle, dude. Just his feet.
Chris Godwin, kind of putting himself in comeback player of the year conversation.
Sneaky.
He was not really that.
Is he the
good.
best number 2 wide receiver in the league?
I think so. I mean, because with
This
the
year,
way
that's-
he's playing,
He beat team's number 1
He
wide
beat-
receiver.
easy.
He
Go
beat.
to the Broncos or the Saints. He's our number one guy.
Oh shit.
Easy.
Hey, I don't want to hear no Rashid Shaheed, Mahid, slander.
Need for
over here.
Shaheed. right
I
there,
got
buddy.
the need for speed for some Shaheed, brother. I love him over there in New Orleans.
Dude, I'm so excited for this Ravens game. It's going to be a dogfight tonight. I think Baltimore does take it.
I got Baltimore
simply
too.
because of their ability to run the ball. They're just that's why I have them at 2 is they figured out that run game. They're going to be able to dominate you time and possession wise.
Oh.
Henry rejuvenated.
Chargers
Baltimore.
beating Arizona.
I think so pretty easily. In a defensive battle too. Like Chargers win that game like 23-10 probably.
I like
Probably.
it. Yeah, I think I got Baltimore and pick 'em.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if Tampa Bay didn't upset.
I'm
3.5 point home
100%.
underdogs. Chargers, Arizona. I got the Chargers.
That one's coming down to like a last second field goal down.
Monday night doubleheader. We'll have it back on Wednesday on the Monday night football recap until the final whistle. Great conversation, boys. I love when you can debate teams like that and break down the bigger picture on teams, how we see the game, how the fans see the game. I absolutely love those conversations. Not just like, oh yeah, fantasy's fun. I love sports betting. But when you can really talk football like that, absolutely love it. I'm addicted to it. Till the final whistle, MB Radio. We'll see you Wednesday. And good night and good luck, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that was it. We forgot to finish top plays. Doesn't even matter.
Doesn't even matter.
Because that was a really great
Great
conversation.
freaking content, dude. That was like elite content. Love that shit. 'Cause people like hearing that kind of stuff too. So it's cool that the Detroit Lions triggered it. That's a team that I wouldn't even think about triggering a conversation like that. Just because I think past the Detroit Lions so much, I don't even view them as like, I don't know, like my entire life they've been bad. So I'm like,
Yeah.
who gives a shit? You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, that was fun. That was a good show. That flowed really good too. We didn't really have any like downtime really.
Nah. Yeah, we were just like hard pressed to even like go on break because we just had so
Yeah.
much to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, good shit. It was.
Browns are taking calls on Myles Garrett. I hope Myles Garrett and Max Crosby don't get. If Max Crosby gets traded to the fucking Detroit Lions, I'm probably gonna fucking end up shooting myself on fucking.
That would be. Why the lot? I mean,
Dude,
Dude,
the
you
Super
just-
Bowl window.
do you just give up?
You
Like,
lose Hutchinson, you gotta get a guy.
I mean, I think you're okay giving up your draft pick because you're
I
not
would.
all in.
I would.
Well, dude,
definitely
and here's
buy
the thing.
a first round.
You give up like a first rounder, like a second and a third. Fucking, I don't know. Throw in somebody else too, like
a future one, and
throw in like a decent prospect on
Rolando,
defense.
that Rolando McNeil guy,
Elaine McNeil.
Elaine McNeil.
I don't know if you want to trade him because he's an anchor against the run there.
He is. You're right about that.
That would really hurt their run defense.
Right defense. So then go here, go to share, download recording.
I gotta take a look at the roster, but if they have like another like
I would trade a few
defensive
picks for
lineman.
Max Crosby if I'm the Lions. I mean, you're going to be fucking screwed on the salary cap because you're going to have to take on all of his fucking
Yeah.
salary
Well, I mean,
cap.
shit.
to get
I mean, you give up like a couple of like a first round this year, maybe a future first. Throw in a decent young DB or defensive lineman maybe that has some
If
potential.
you're the Raiders, though, I wouldn't take any oncoming players. I would only take
Just take
picks.
picks.
Just take.
I think that would actually work out for
Just
the
because
Lions,
I don't
too.
want to like that future player, like depending on his deal, it's going to be dead cap, and you're not going to be building with that player anyway.
Yeah, they need to just get picks.
They just need to get picks, dude, and stack those
That's
fuckers,
true.
man. You know, like, dude, I saw this a couple weeks ago. The Packers, the Niners, the Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, and for some reason, the fucking LA Chargers are the last 5 teams to have more than 9 picks in the draft the last 5 years in a row. And like, you look at the team and you're like, oh yeah, you can sustain an injury and no big friggin' deal. We're going to keep on rolling because we've had 9 more draft picks, you know, to draft his own replacement at his own position and just
The Ravens,
stack him on the depth chart.
Ravens losing your second best linebacker because I don't think Patrick Queen's better than Roquan Smith.
No,
Not at all.
no.
Yeah.
You lose Geno Stone, who's pretty solid, and he's not
Really good
playing
season.
well.
Yeah.
He's not playing well in Cincinnati. Then they were able to replace that pretty easily. Like Kyle Hamilton and Marlon Humphrey just kind of handling the load in the
Still holding
secondary
down.
with the young guys.
Yeah, Matabike
So-
is still getting a
Matabike.
decent amount of pressure there. Yeah.
Like their defense is exactly the same.
His Monday
They
night
lost
game
two
between
heavy
Baltimore and Tampa Bay is going to be a good fucking game, dudes.
So
Oh,
when does
yeah.
that one start? That kicks off at what?
4 something?
I think
Our
they
time?
are they staggered?
No,
or
that's
they just start
6:15. That's
6:15
6:15
our time.
They just
And
started
then
at the same
7.
time. Oh,
Yeah, it's staggered here for us.
staggered an hour.
I love when they. I don't know. There was a lot of football games in the afternoon, so I'm not complaining this week. But dude, man, I think the NFL's just got to go to. The only game on was that trash in the afternoon window was that trash Niners and freaking Chiefs game where I'm like,
And it
dude,
was
how is this the?
Rams.
And if you want to get like another, don't have them as like the only game that's on national television or your game of the week, bro. Put somebody like I want to see. I want to see him.
None of these games were all the afternoon games were all too early. Raiders,
No.
Rams.
Yeah, Raiders 20-15.
Yeah, dude.
3 interceptions.
Rams
from
practice squad
Minshew.
versus Raiders UFL.
There was
roster.
some kind of even the Packers and Houston game was a bad game. I was pissed off that whole fucking game, not just because of the fucking ugly ass uniforms. Like our play style, like we don't turn the ball over 3 times. Like that game's 40 to fucking nothing. We don't give a shit about that game. It's off by halftime. You know,
Like the best games this week. Lions.
Lions and Vikings was a good
Vikings
game.
was super good.
Super good game.
Fuck, what was? Now I'm thinking.
That was about it,
Browns,
dude.
Browns weren't even that good.
Yeah, the
No,
Browns
see.
and
A
Bengals
lot of
was
shit games this week,
boring.
dude.
Yeah.
A lot of shit games this week, dude. I
What
mean,
did
and
I
the
put on
Pittsburgh,
NFL
the
side?
Pittsburgh game was only entertaining for me. I watched it because fucking Aaron Rodgers. I hate that motherfucker. All right, so that's going down loading. That's good, and then we can go to.
How does he even?
Yeah, I mean, really, outside of Lions, Vikings, either it was just like boring ass like defensive dogfights like Dolphins, Colts. Yeah, the Eagles, Giants. That was just a sack fest. And
Yep.
the team with the more talented roster won. Bengals, Browns. I mean,
21-14 was the final
like
score.
yeah, I mean the Bengals were in control for most of the game, just like they weren't putting up a lot of stats or anything.
No.
The Browns were just god awful.
And I go
Seahawks Falcons was interesting for a bit, but like Seahawks just like pulled away so much. Yeah, I mean the Commanders backup QB Marcus Mariota in the year of our Lord 2024 just pounding on the Panthers.
And he bombed one to Zach Ertz. Chip Kelly is he is hype on that one. That was Chip Kelly. Mariota to Zach Ertz. Come on now. That is a early 2010s level fucking duo right there.
Yeah.
I miss old Mariota on the Titans though. That was
Boys.
fucking.
Sabrina, she came in here, dyed caveman's hair,
Love it.
goes to school, gets a 91 on their mental health test, brings her up to a 93 in the class, so now
There you
she's
go.
got an A. Goat stuff right there.
Where's she at? Where's she going to school?
Pima Medical.
Oh, cool.
I'm actually gonna make a video right now of me being a man of my word for the TikTok, and I'll give her a shout out
Yeah.
in the video.
Oh wait, I was gonna wait. Let's just do pictures of your hair. Like we can do like a slideshow with like some goofy sound, and it's just like we'll just do like a front view, like a side view, and a back angle, and we'll be like, and then we can just add that like fucking what's that sound like? Dinkleberry, I'm so good on Dinkleberry. Or some, just something goofy along that line, and be like, oh, this is what happens when you make a bet that the team full of practice. When you bet that a team full of practice squad players is going to win on prime time.
Pretty orange. It does.
Here, let me go to the bathroom. I can help you put that TikTok together. I just really got to go.
It's orange enough.
Doesn't look too bad, brother. And then where else? So I did Spotify already.
I just have to do Twitch.
And then from Twitch, it goes from like everywhere, right? To like YouTube and all that.
From Twitch, you just export it. It exports from Twitch to YouTube, and then that's everything you have to upload, like the video.
And then I go. So I'm on Twitch. I go to.
Just hit the profile icon on the top right, the little duck, then the video producer,
Oh yeah, okay.
and then it's that top one there. Just hit publish. Hit the three dots next to it, and then you might have to scroll down a little bit. Yeah, export. And that's all you gotta do for Twitch. Now we can just make our little like social media clips.
Then I go to.
Share again. Edit and repurpose.
Edit and repurpose.
And do the one on the right.
I'm going to keep that. Boys.
What?
Monday, December 23rd. We got to get another bet going between you and Caveman because it's Packers Saints on Monday Night Football.
Oh, that's a Monday night game?
Caveman can have green hair too this year.
I think
yeah.
green wouldn't look good. Let's go yellow, baby.
Do yellow? Okay.
Let's dye our hair.
Hey,
Are we
hey,
going
Jimmy.
with, are we
The
dyeing-
Saints, they might
We gotta, we
shock
gotta-
the world there.
How would
we
I
gotta
look?
pick a,
How would I look with Well, I can't go black. I'd
we
have
gotta
to
pick
go.
a different bet there.
Yeah.
We gotta pick a different one than the hair.
Yeah, we don't want to get repetitive.
Because then we're just gonna we gotta make sure we buy enough hair dye to actually get the full
Yeah.
effect.
How
should do,
about
We should do. What if we did like an eating thing, where like we'll do something where I gotta eat a fuck ton of cheese. If the
Yeah,
Packers
cheese
win-
curds.
If the Packers win,
You
I
gotta eat like a
bunch.
pound of like Kraft cheese. Like, you have to eat like 100 Kraft.
We'll come.
No,
we got time to think about it though.
You
We
have
got
to eat,
time.
So you have
We
to
got
eat
time.
5 Kraft singles for every.
Oh
point the
no,
Packers
that he
score.
would die, dude. He'd come in
Okay,
like
What's
The
What's
box
he'd
crap-
come in like 300 pounds. That's too much.
what's some classic like Cajun food snacks?
Oh, dude, I love cake. You ain't going. Oh, buddy, I'll go to New Orleans right now. Eat a pound
Yeah,
of gumbo.
honestly.
I'll eat a pound of gumbo, no problem, boy.
See if there's like just some.
And then like Jimmy's got to eat like
Or
5
if
like,
it's-
fried crawdads for
If
every
the Saints
point.
win, it'll be something like you gotta eat something like spicy or something.
Nah, we gotta like we gotta get like a bunch of crawfish. If the Saints win, we'll boil them live, right? he's got like you gotta eat 5 slices of cheese for every point that the whatchamacalls the Packers score. He's gotta eat 5 crawdads for every point. Well, crawdads are a lot bigger than cheese. Maybe it'd just be 1 crawdad per point because that'd be a lot of crawdads. Okay. It turns into like a shootout or something.
We got plenty of time.
We'll think about it.
We'll think about it.
Well, you
I
know
like
what?
The cheese one, we gotta go with. We'll think of something if the Saints win. I think that'll be a good one. We do.
I was just thinking about it in the bathroom. I wonder if the Saints and the Packers play.
I thought that was our last primetime game.
I think
That
it-
works out perfectly. I thought our last one was the Broncos.
It's in New Orleans.
I think it's
Yes.
gonna be. I think it might be in Orlando.
I actually think it is in Lando. Yeah, it's in Lando.
Any part that you guys like that you want to clip it up?
Definitely.
Kind of like that part at the beginning where we talked about teams leaving their game plan, kind of getting the passing battles are down to 10 points.
Yeah.
Or that you got to do a clip of that little end part
Yeah.
for sure.
Definitely want to put the. I like doing like 2 or 3 per show too. I think it's just good. So I'm looking to see if there are any other primetime games for the Saints. It looks like that one's, that's it. Who knows? They might flex the Saints Buccaneers game in the primetime.
Did you guys turn TikTok off?
Oh, whoops.
Just wanted people to.
NBR Talk, NBR Radio, Final Whistle.
Those. Do that bottom right one too.
This one?
Yeah, both of the TikTok ones. It'll send it to my phone.
And not if I get a few pictures of the view.
Yeah. Send those to me. I will. You should just record a video of me talking about it, and then we'll put the pictures in at the end of it and show like a little slideshow.
Okay, well, do a front view.
Grab lunch, guys.
I'll text these over to you.
Could always do a clip when we talked about the Monday night matchups too. Get people in the comments.
So when I'm done and I click on them, do I just go to customize for each destination?
Yeah, you'll have to copy and paste the description on all of them, except for the TikTok. You don't have to worry about the TikTok.
Make sure you hit the schedule for later so you can put up the thumbnail on there.
What the fuck? Yeah, if we had at least like 2 more bottles, we would have got a good good coating of orange. But I'd say it's orange enough.
Looks like I'm taking a sandwich.
All right, sports fans, it's Caveman here. Here
Agent
to prove to
Orange.
everybody that I'm a man of my word. And to tell everybody, send a PSA out. If your team's practice squad players are starting, oh, I couldn't even do something. What's up, sports fans? Agent Orange here, Caveman from Till the Final Whistle, letting everybody know that you should not bet practice squad players to win primetime football games. Saints got whooped. Death, taxes, Saints lose in Saints fashion, 33-10. My hair's orange now. You guys could see it live. Go check out the previous stream Till the Final Whistle. Covering up the football frenzy. Shout out to our #1 fan though, Sabrina. She dyed my hair, got out to school, aced her test. Way to go, Sabrina. Shout out to our #1 fan. And we just found out something special. The Green Bay Packers have a Monday night football game against the New Orleans Saints. And you know Jimmy Covers, big Packers fan. We're going to come up with a bet for that game. Let us know in the comments what you think we should do. We're kind of thinking of something with a food challenge, but let us know. We'll be back with that one. It's in December, so we've got some time to think of a bet. Let us know what you think.
I like it. I got that clip pretty good with Sabrina painting it when we were breaking down the Jets. So
Birthday.
Let's go.
I should know by tomorrow, but you guys might have a remote Monday at Jersey Mike's.
Oh, let's go. In the morning or like at night?
No, in the afternoon. In the afternoon, unless you guys wanna do a play-by-play.
Well, this wouldn't be like during the Monday night game.
Well, however you guys want to do it.
Okay. Jersey Mike doesn't have a lot of on.
Hell, she says you guys could even do it Sunday.
Sunday would be pretty cool.
I was just trying to get you guys that location, that's all.
Ever since Eli left, I mean Eli really.
There's teams that are bad because their team is bad, and there's teams that are bad because their organization. New York Giants bad because their organization is bad, not giving players opportunities. There's teams that are bad because the team is bad, and there's teams that are bad because there's bad. Mario had won some freaking money. Alright. Mario Manning had won more. Oh, and those Victor Cruz era. Was it Bob Bradshaw there?
oh, I like this one.
There we are. At the clock tower.
Hey, Dale, I guess Glenn called off. If you're interested in coming and doing the show tonight, it's totally up to you.
Who? You talking to me?
You talking to me?
No,
You ain't talking to me.
send a message to
You
Dale.
talking to me?
I guess Glenn could co-host for Roddy. He's not gonna make it, so I was just letting her know she could do the show if she wanted to.
Yeah, you guys thinking maybe let's do like a primetime preview of Monday Night Football at Jersey Mike's.
Well,
That'd be pretty cool.
You know, where we do it like maybe a couple hours, like from like 4:15 to like up till kickoff, and then when the kickoff starts, we go off.
okay.
You know, we could do it's kind of like a Monday night countdown until the final whistle.
That'd be pretty cool. Right?
And I'll let you
It'll
guys
be
know.
easier, and I think it'll let our content really show instead of just like relying on the football game.
Yeah. All right.
No, yeah, I'll let you guys know tomorrow what the verdict is.
But it's a combination of hours. You know, Montgomery's going to teach you down like all coverages.
Although we should rule out the possibility of doing a football frenzy at like a live location and seeing if we can get people to come in and like talk about different things there as well. That would be interesting too.
Should we do a sad song? What should we do? We're looking for the sad ones. Let's see.
You know that video where it's like the guys who are
Do
like,
you think he had a
No!
playoffs loss
No!
to the NFC Championship? Yeah, because I mean, like, you're not.
What's up, sports fans? Orange here, caveman until the final whistle. Letting everybody know that you should not bet practice squad players to win primetime football games. Saints got whoops. Death, taxes, Saints losing Saints fashion, 33-10. My hair's orange now. You guys can see it live. Go check out the previous stream until the final whistle. Covering up the football frenzy. Shout out to our #1 fan, though, Sabrina. She dyed my hair, got out to school, aced her test. Way to go, Sabrina. Shout out to our #1 fan. And we just found out something special. The Green Bay Packers have a Monday Night Football game against the New Orleans Saints. And you know Jimmy covers big Packers fans. We're going to come up with a bet for that game. Let us know in the comments what you think we should do. We're kind of thinking of something with a food challenge, but let us know. We'll be back with that one. It's in December, so we've got some time to think of a bet. Let us know what you think.
That's elite, guys.
Oh, we're talking in the background. Right? Oh, what does he do?
What's up, sports fans? Agent Orange here. Caveman until the final whistle. Letting everybody know.
And I wanted to get your comment, HG, on this one too, because that was a great response.
which part of it, man? I mean, it was all great.
Well, I got your, I liked your A-Rod comment, Favre or whatever, when you, because I got that one in the last reel. That was awesome. I wanted to just go after it.
Oh,
because-
how did you get that to do? How are you getting it to do that? Normally you have to drag it and then drag the cursor too.
Hit the arrow over and then just hold down this box.
What's up, sports fans?
If you just
Oh, shit.
hold the arrow over.
Offensively, though, the Lions are very complete.
This is it. Love that. When you said the style that they play with just stopped working. Love that shit, dude. Love that shit. You got your headphones on?
Shout out to our number one fan,
Offensively, though, the Lions are very complete. That job is very coordinated. Look, like the thing is, just the style that they play just stopped working for them at a bad time. That's the reason they got the game as a championship, going for the fourth down, running the ball down the throat, being aggressive, and then it stopped working for them at the wrong time. But they didn't, and then they're still playing that way this year. I mean, they're going to do the combination. Oh yeah, I mean, we have an offensive line that's just not good. Like there are a lot of defenses, and those guys are just losers. I like it. Cool.
Sorry, I misread. Alright. Put this fridge in. This in the fridge. Hey man, did you get a sandwich?
Not yet.
Huh?
Not yet. I forgot.
But I want to make sure that you guys ate.
I gotta start putting out here soon.
I got about 6 clips up.
Okay, yeah, so whenever you guys do reels, only do one reel because with our DVR, we're only allowed to post like one reel a day.
That's just for the TikTok
Okay,
page.
okay.
You can pick. You can only post one if you want, but I'm gonna post all of them on the TikTok.
Yeah, on your TikTok, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's more so why we're grabbing multiple clips. It's for ours.
Okay,
That's
That's
we are,
fine.
yeah, just just post one from us.
that's fine.
These empty bottles of spray dye. Well, one of them still has the whole.
Jimmy, make sure that you get a sandwich before you leave so that you have something to eat.
Okay. None of them are playing.
No, they're all either ham or turkey.
Ham or turkey, huh?
Yeah,
With all the fixings.
they're always like that. Yeah,
Good to my girlfriend. Sure we do.
that works.
And as long as it gets
Just want to make sure all my vets are fed.
Brother, appreciate you. You've done more for me than you know. When I'm done with school, dude, I'm gonna be like you and Caveman. I'm gonna be living up in here, dude. I'm gonna just start like live streaming like the whole fucking time up here.
might as well. I should have put that audio.
Yeah. Yeah, so all that stuff is up on YouTube then from Twitch, right? Our show, Caveman,
Yeah, it automatically posts on YouTube.
automatically posts.
And then I put the thing on Twitch. It automatically publishes our previous streams for 6 days after, so you can, if you want to go back on there and edit anything, you can.
Cool.
Not this short notice.
What?
I just love how he's on FaceTime with fucking iShow Speed.